this streaming. So you can talk about this on stream. I mean, I get, the stream has started, but we're currently muted. So I can just unmute it and then read it. Could ask them later. Stream is ready. YouTube is ready. Twitch is ready. I think they're mostly ready. I wanna play. We've been playing a lot. We even have a channel just for Lethal Company. You should join us at Ayin and Hale. Wait, is my internet bad or? Nothing awesome. Wait, he's not nothing awesome. I'm the one doing it. That's not good. Because my audio is kind of 4 minutes. Build the stream. I hope I don't disconnect suddenly. Yes. Why am I offline on Twitch? Wait, is Twitch loading for you guys or is my internet just very bad? Where's the privacy on this thing? Sorry, man. I guess. I'm currently streaming. Can you stream it with the Discord again or post on that? Yes, I'm currently streaming. Just start this page. Oh, wait, I think you can do it anyway. This one. What's this? Then this. Wait again. Updates. Afterwards, we talk about It is. I'll put it down. Oh, it's 8 p.m. It's 8 p.m. You guys ready? Which is not ready.
That's
Never.
the thing.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
We're live.
Okay, hello. Okay, are we live?
Hello. Hi,
We're
chat.
live, right?
We're live.
Oh,
Hey guys.
fuck, okay, we're live. Okay. Hi, guys.
We're doing this again.
Hi. Okay, I got it. One,
Hi,
two, three, go.
chat.
Hi,
Hi,
chat.
guys. So, we're Capriccioso. I'm Ruben, and together with me is the Capriccioso team. And we also have two special guests with us today who we'll be introducing later. But first, let's introduce our team because today's theme for our quick podcast is actually art related stuffs. So, welcome the Capriccioso art team.
Yeah, I have that ready.
Hello.
Who goes first? Is there like a sequence?
What do we do?
Me gets at the leftmost, so she's first.
Yeah, I guess so.
Go, Dan.
What?
Sorry.
Say hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mika, and I'm the studio's digital artist lead, Kevin. Okay, wrong spelling on Kevin.
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 My name is
Who added
Kevin.
Kevin.
That's
Yeah,
me. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Okay. Hello, I'm Kevin. I'm the one of the 3D designers, 3D artists of Capriccioso. Nice to meet you. Oh,
Then we have TJ.
Hello, I'm TJ. Hello, Sir Ruben. I'm the studio's one of the studio's 3D artist and game developer. And passing it off to our master, Clint.
Must. Good.
Master.
There. No, hi guys, hi everyone on stream and chat. I'm Clint. What am I? I don't even know what I'm like managing the portfolio and I don't know. Yeah, mostly I'm just managing the portfolio temporarily. Well, that's the main task at hand. Yeah, I think that's mostly it. I work on stuff when I'm needed.
Back to you, Ruben.
All right. Thank you for the quick intro, our team. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it caught you on the loop, and sorry, Kevin, about the wrong spelling. I did not do that on purpose. But so next up, we're gonna be introducing our esteemed art guests. So first up, we have Ayin. Go, Ayin, plug your socials. Talk about yourself just a little bit.
Thank you. Hello. Hi. My name is Ayin Yin. I am an artist. I work as a 2D artist for a game dev company. The Secret Six. Oh my God, my friends are here. Hello. Also, I do. What else do I do? I do not remember anything I do in my life.
That's the spirit.
I, I do Artist Alley sometimes since 2018. I draw. Lately I draw my OCs. What else? I like to dress up in alternative fashion and cosplays every now and then in conventions. And yeah, nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Ayin. And next up, we also have Hale. So,
Hi.
Hale, feel free to plug your socials. Tell us about you. Tell us about yourself.
All right. So, hi guys. Listen, lead on. Just check it.
Wait, is it just me or are you?
Am I good now?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you
You're
are,
much
you
better.
are.
It's much better.
Oh, so guys, I'm here.
We're offline on Twitch. Okay, we're back
I
now.
was sweating bullets because I thought my internet just died.
Okay, we're back.
We're back. Hi guys.
Go ahead.
Oh, I understand.
No, you keep cutting off.
What is this last time?
Yeah, like
You bitch.
yeah, it cuts off when you're trying to say something.
Oh. Let me try to turn off the curse.
No, it's not cutting off.
Now it's
Yeah, you're fine now. Yeah.
Okay. Take three, guys. I'm an artist and illustrator, and I'm an artist on the webtoon originals called The Uncommons. You can follow me on my socials, Hailsion. I try to post when I can, but I actually draw every day, and I just so thanks for having.
We got most of that.
We got
We got most of it. We got most
Good
of it.
enough.
Thank you.
Good enough.
Thank you,
Good enough.
guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Love
you. Thank
how
you,
it's,
guys, for
it's not
coming.
working when it's on stream, but it was okay in the pre-text.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so
That's
strange.
how it works.
Oh yeah.
That's how you know we're live.
But thank you guys for coming. That's all. I don't know. I don't.
What?
I'm kidding. So next up, we say again. Thanks. Thank you guys for coming. We appreciate taking the time to chat with us. So next up, we have our Haphazard Angel art style origins. So actually, we recently visited. We recently attended we recently attended an event. It was called Game Dev Summit. It was a couple of months ago, and one of the biggest things that people talked about in terms of Capriccioso Studios was the art style of Haphazard Angel and how it's really unique, and it stands out compared to other games. Funnily enough, we had one person say, "We don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely a unique thing." Like that could definitely be the selling point of Haphazard Angel, the art style. So I think it would be an interesting topic that Nika and Dane would talk about where they got the art style, what their inspirations were.
I wait, right now or later or right now?
Right now,
Wait, right now?
yeah.
Okay, real quick, let me open up my Canva where it all came from. So all of this is laid out back in our dev vlog. You should watch it. And let me just share a different screen. Haphazard Angels GDD. Yeah, this is the GDD. That's it. That's literally just it. The so I was trying to visualize how the Haphazard Angel game works. So we have four wings, we have several eyes. Then I presented this to Nika, and then she literally just used this as the basis for the art style. Then we have what we have right now, which is awesome and was played by more than 200 people in several conventions the entire year last year. And so fun, so much fun. But this year, we'll talk about this more later. But we plan on changing the Haphazard Angel art style. So stay tuned. That's it for me. Thanks. Kadan,
Spoiler.
spoiler alert.
Yeah. Wala kay ko say except I didn't give that much thought sa art style sa Haphazard. Like the moment you give me the GDD and it's like I feel like giving this kind of art style sa in a game, so it just went and yes and let's go and that's all.
This is where
Yeah, that's
this is
why
how
you're changing the
far.
art style.
Yeah, this is how far Rocket Rocket Let's Go will take you. Pretty far.
Yeah.
But you eventually
But hey,
grow
on the stream,
something.
sorry, Dan, in the stream, are there supposed to be like images showing the art style, or are you guys just talking about it? I'm just curious.
Just the one on the screen. Like it's a canvas screen with a very old
Okay.
Haphazard Angel graphics. A bit what?
Okay, okay.
Then going back to this one. Back to you, Ruben.
Okay, so actually, our guests actually sent us a couple of their art. So what we want is to actually hear from them. So I think the first one would actually be to Hale, right? Yeah. So give us context. Like, what's the origins behind these awesome art?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, it's like fine this time around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound good.
Yes.
Just gotta make sure. Okay, so the first one is pretty straightforward. I just really wanted to include this because this is my favorite Spotify artist, my number one artist. DPR Ian, and he's one of my biggest inspos when it comes to like creative stuff. So I based it off his music video. And I tried to, because I'm a comic artist, I tried to envision it how it would look like as a cover art. It was just really good practice for myself too. The next one, this one is Hades, but the Furies, except they're styled more modernly, and actually really into fashion. So I thought it would be fun with the art style that Hades has to kind of incorporate some of these really trendy clothes that were popping up on the internet recently and try to dress up the characters. And the last one in this lineup, this one's actually just featured in the Graphica book last month. So this one is kind of special to me. It's kind of one of my angst arts, kind of just venting out frustrations at some point. And I really love stars. So I thought, what would it be like to kind of like draw something more my style, but in a darker tone? And I think it kind of helped me develop the art style I'm using right now. I really like that one too, personally. Yes, any questions, guys?
Well, for
I
me,
love
these
your
look pretty
colors.
awesome. Yeah, that's what I was
so
gonna
good.
say.
That's always the thing. I always look at your art, Hale. Like your colors are just chef's kiss.
Thank you. I like to tell people that my palette is every color. So I try to actually use every single color in my illustrations.
And you do it really well. Like it's so
Thank you.
I have a question. Is this a discussion time already, or like are we allowed to like ask questions or?
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys.
Okay. Well, I have a question, Hale. So, like one of the things that a lot of artists, especially if they're starting out, is like figuring out their style, or that's like something like something that people commonly ask, like, "Oh, if I'm an artist and like I want to have a style," or like, because some artists are still like developing their style. So, what's your take on that? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how does one artist develop their style, or is it something they learn, or is it like natural? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. That's really interesting, Clint. Thanks for asking that. Because I actually did a workshop finding your art style just recently with Collab Cebu. I don't know if you guys are part of that. I think some of you guys know Collab Cebu. But yeah, we had like a workshop for how beginner artists can start to develop it. And there's a lot of things that go into an art style, and it all kind of depends on each journey. I think one thing, if I had to condense the topic, would be to think of your art style as not something binded to you personally. A lot of artists fall into the trap of being like, oh, this is how my art represents me, and if it doesn't look the certain way I want it to, then that's a hit on me as well. So I try to not go that route. Rather, I would say if you're developing an art style right now, then try to understand what you're trying to make. One of my favorite artists, Craig McCracken, who is the creator of the Powerpuff Girls, he created such an iconic style for his hit show. But every single show he's done thus far, like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends or Kid Cosmic, they all have different art styles. So he kind of like build the art style on what lets your work shine. It doesn't have to be one. It's something that can bring you to your end goal. Yeah.
Thanks for answering.
Yeah, sure.
So I think like to add on to what Taylor's talking about, I guess for like on like my thoughts on that too is also just like the whole pressure, right? Like a lot of artists, it's like, oh, like I think art styles are very like sometimes they can be personal, they can be non-personal, and I think like the type of work that you're doing, like sometimes this work might require you to not use that specific art style. So like I think that whole flexibility thing is kind of like makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh, another really fun example I like to use is the Junji Ito versus Hayao Miyazaki example. No, those guys do not fit their art styles, but they do what they do so well.
Yeah. Does anyone have any more questions for him?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious in terms of you guys have every artist has their established art style, right? So, but you guys also do commission work. So, when you do commission work, what usually is the process of that? Like, what if client doesn't like how you guys do your art style? So how do you guys adjust to that, or how do you guys become flexible to that?
Mm. Yin, do you have any answers now?
I guess when it comes to people approaching us for commissions, usually they approach us because of our art style, because they want to see
Yeah.
something drawn because of how we draw a certain thing. But I do know there's people who would approach certain artists and ask them, "Can you replicate this style?" And I've actually done that before. Like when I was like a few years before that, I tried drawing the Ghibli style, and I've seen someone. There was someone who approached me because there was a time I drew myself as a Fire Emblem Three Houses character,
Thank you.
and they asked me like, "Oh, can you are you open for commissions in the Fire Emblem art style?" And I was like, "Oh, currently no, because I'm aware that it's a hard art style for me to redraw in. So it's up to you if you want to be an artist who can replicate other art styles, or if you want people to approach you, commission you for art style that you actually want to draw in, like because it's your art style. And yeah, it's also different when it comes to bigger client commissions, or for example, with me with my work, a day job, I draw in the client's art style because I'm hired to draw in their art style. So it's me adjusting and learning to draw in that specific art style, and it's it's a hard thing sometimes to like blur that line between your art style and theirs. There's a time if you draw in a client's art style for a while, it kind of bleeds into your personal art style. So you have to be conscious and maybe take time to remember your own art style or draw in your own way so that it doesn't, bleed in and you kind of like lose your sense of style because, oh, I've been drawing in this certain style for a while. So yeah, anything you can add?
I totally
Hale?
agree.
Mhm.
I totally agree with that. It's so funny how you mentioned that because actually I had that problem because when I'm doing comics, we always have to stay on model, and it's actually based off my art style. But as we added more of my coworkers and my teammates, I kind of emulated their style. We all just kind of morph into one style. So I actually do have a reference sheet for my own art design, just so I'd never forget it.
Yeah.
So, can I have a follow-up question to that, Hale?
Yeah, sure.
Wait, I hope we're not going above time, but I'll just ask quickly.
Don't worry
So,
about that.
so right, Hale, you mentioned that like you have a team and you guys are working on something specific, and they have to like adjust to your art style, right? Like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm curious how you manage to since you guys are working on one product and it needs to be consistent throughout, right? So what were your like how did you because everyone draws very differently. Like, I draw very differently from Ayin or whoever. So what were your steps to like make sure like how did you discipline everyone to draw like how you draw? Like right? Like how did you do that? Like what did you do?
Yeah, so actually at the start of our whole production, like some people don't realize when you make like shows or comics that there's a whole pre-production
Yeah.
time. Yeah, so during that time, I created like a style Bible. It's basically a concept art book, but just for us. So if we ever forget something, we just refer back to it. And it didn't seem at the time when I was making it, didn't seem too much like too important, because you know you kind of want to get into the pages right away and all that stuff. But we're actually, when we're looking through portfolios for new team members, we we can really tell if you can emulate the style or not, and that's a make
Yeah.
or break thing
Yeah,
when it
yeah.
comes to industry kind of teams.
I agree wholeheartedly. I have a lot
Yeah.
to say on that topic too. But
I'd love to hear it if we do have time.
yeah, it's pretty much the same that our company, depending on the project that we're in, I don't know how it is with other projects because I'm in a specific project. I have other workmates who are in different art projects. In mine specifically, we also have like a guidebook or like how to draw in this specific way, and it's very, how do I say it, meticulous, like down to like how you draw the shape of the nose, the ears, like every single detail. It's pointed out that you draw it in a specific way, and because of that, there's pretty much like a clear guide on how to draw it, so that the style is uniform across all the artists. The hard part is when you get a new artist and you train them in it, and sometimes they can't get the art style right, or they can't get those tiny details, like, you know, on style with what the client wants or needs. So, and to think that the art style I'm drawing in is, if you look at it, it looks like a simple style, but if you break it down into like all the different things that makes it that distinct style, it's a lot. It's a lot to remember. It's a lot to think, and it makes you sometimes want unlearn or like have to rethink the way you draw, like in the process, for example, or yeah, like you have to pretty much be able to replicate it in a way that it stays in style. Because sometimes there's like minor details wherein, oh, maybe your line weight is a bit different in your own personal style, and theirs, or like the line art is more cleaner, or the way you do like the shape, or the shape language, for example, like those things like stack up, and some people have just a completely different way of drawing things that it does not align with the style that you're drawing for a client, you know. So it's actually like not all artists can draw in a certain way, because maybe there's artists who draw better in a sketchy way or in a fully rendered painterly way, and maybe what is needed in for the client is like a very cel shaded or anime cartoon style. So yeah, it's surprisingly complex sometimes, and it's yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah. Can I like follow up like something? And I also wanna like, since you know we were on the topic of like Hannah going sorry Hale going on portfolios. So I think yeah, so one of the things that so sometimes, right, artists would apply to like jobs, or like part like they would apply to like specific job openings, like 2D artists, this and that, right? And you just mentioned, right, just a few minutes ago, that when you guys are checking those artists for portfolio, right, sometimes you have to basically like say, oh, can this artist do the art style we're doing, right? Like, is that
Yeah.
the process?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know-
Yeah.
We sometimes look into, oh, this artist likes to do painterly style. We need someone who's more comfortable with doing line art or like cel shaded and stuff, because it also like reflects on how their workflow is. Because I know there's some artists who do like a one layer drawing, paint on one layer basically. They don't do layers, for example. And in our workflow, layers are so important. Like you have to know how to separate your line art from your colors and all that stuff. Because we're not the only ones who will look at the file. The client will also see it, and they need to be able to adjust it on their end for when they put it, you know, wherever they need it for. So it's not just how an artist's style is. It's because sometimes you can like have an insight on how their workflow is with the art style itself.
Yeah, the technical stuff.
Yeah, on the technical aspect, yeah.
Yeah. I also have this kind of story regarding choosing like art styles for her team. So there was actually a a point where someone, an artist I really like and have read their comics, applied to join us, and I received the images from my coworker, and I really wanted to work with this person, but unfortunately the style wasn't a match to my own, so I had to sadly reject the person. So it could be, it doesn't really matter. I'd say to younger artists watching, like if even your idol was really solidified art style, might not get all the jobs. Everyone is kind of unique in that way. Like art.
Yeah, I guess I guess that's sort of like the message that I want to kind of like say, because like I think sometimes it's like, oh, like we get the rejection, so we aren't good enough, but it's not really about like, oh, like I'm a number 2 and I need to be a number 5. Sometimes it's like they need red and you have to be red. It's not like one is better than the other thing. It's like the
Yeah.
companies are looking for something very specific and you're just not that specific. It doesn't mean you're bad. I guess that's
Yeah.
It's just business, baby.
It's just that's just business. And yeah, that I know that pain as well, because before, when I was still like trying to apply into illustrator jobs, my art style before was leaning a lot towards anime, and technique wise I really wasn't there yet. So it made sense that I would get rejected from like artist alleys or from like job openings regarding illustration stuff, because looking back at it now, I was so dejected back then, but looking back, oh, I see why I got rejected. I could not show them through my portfolio alone that I can do what they need me to do. So you have to have this sense of awareness as well, that maybe you just don't have the skill set yet that would work within an industry, because you could be a really good artist, but if your workflow will not fit into their schedule or like their timeline, you won't survive. Like there are like artists who would not survive in the industry or there's like freelancers who are aware they cannot work in the industry because maybe they have a more chillax, more slower pace when they draw or when they do concepts and stuff. Like they take their sweet time creating something, and that's fine. If you go back to the old artists from the Renaissance era or way back then, paintings takes years, right? Compared to like our current era, wherein it's kind of expected, like every day there's something like a painting level piece you put out on social media. Yeah, like it's a neck breaking pace right now, and not everyone is up to that. Like, to be honest, if you can just like save your sanity, don't go into the art industry if you cannot handle that pressure. And that's not a bad thing. You can find other things. Like there's people who do like monthly. I like people who can do like the monthly Patreon mail stuff. Like they make merch like monthly. They have a theme. I envy those people. Like how they can do things at their own pace.
How do they
get, like,
do
steady
that?
Yeah, right? Like me personally, I wish I can do that, but I don't have that steady pacing. I'm more of a gets hyperfixated, draws something in a burst and then disappear. So I cannot be
similar,
That's why like Artist Alleys works for me better, because the con crunch sadly works for me. I don't want it to work, but it does. But yeah, it depends on your personal way of being an artist as well. Like you don't have to be like everyone else.
You hate the rigid structure, but it works for you.
Yeah. Like for some it worked, for some like you having that flexible schedule works because they can manage it. I cannot be a freelancer. I struggle with that. I need to be in a work setting. Like the schedule's laid out for me, the tasks are laid out for me, and I just like follow that. It works better for me. So yeah.
For
That's
freelancing,
quite interesting.
Sorry, Irvin.
No, go, Dane.
For freelance, this is just a follow-up question. For freelancing, won't you be able to like set a specific schedule for you to work? Or like,
Yeah,
I stop working
um,
at this hour, start working at this hour, and nothing more. Or is
yeah,
it like
that's
a
the thing
pressure
though.
thing?
It's more like it's a mix of pressure, and there's like times after work because it's a freelance thing, right? And supposedly it's you it depends on the client. You have like either you have a deadline or they're very chill with the deadline. I it's a me problem where I can't stick with my own schedules because it's me. I tend to be lenient with myself. So it's really more on because I don't have like a that strong rigid exterior structure that I end up cramming stuff
Oh
like
no.
last minute. And yeah, it's not a good thing to do when when you're doing freelance. So that's why I'm more I took a back seat with it. I still have some commissions I need to finish, but my clients have been very um what's the word patient and understanding. And I do admit that there are times I do take that for granted, and it's something I do need to like work on. But yeah, it just shows that I really am not up for freelancing.
Yeah, I think like to add to that, the difference for me, like from my personal experience, also just like share with the freelancing slash in-house thing. Um, Normally like in a company, you have a manager, right? Or you have a producer to like line up the work that you have to do, and just like, oh, this is what's next, this is what's next, this is what's next. Whereas when you're like freelancing, you don't really have the liberty for someone to manage your work for you. And I
Yeah.
think most artists, and for the most majority, they're mostly very, I don't know, they're very involved with their work, that thinking about deadlines or structures of when things have to be finished. It's usually not on the mind. It's usually very sporadic. Oh, I feel like sculpting today. I don't feel like sculpting right now. So, yeah.
Yeah. And for me as well, it's also that admin stuff is a whole separate thing, and it's just something I struggle with, like keeping a schedule, doing putting up a structure, um timeline for myself because yeah, it's just I don't feel like like it's a weird thing. Like I can probably do it for other people, but if it's towards myself, it's like I can't keep my own schedule,
Oh, I got you.
because you can just like say, "Oh, I'll just do it in a bit. I'll just do this first," and then you lose track of time, and then you like, "Oh no, I should have done this now," and then you realize, "Oh, I'm losing days. I'm losing like the time I allotted for this, and now I have to speedrun it." And the cycle just like repeats, and it's not a good cycle to be in. Like it looks bad on you and for your own like mental health as well.
The crunch
So,
is
yeah.
inevitable in this case.
Yeah, like I should be setting a schedule for myself because there's a con upcoming in the next within the next month for me, but I have not set a schedule for myself yet, and I know I will suffer because I did not set a schedule. So that's a problem for future me that I know will suffer. But it's a struggle. I think a lot of artists knows the struggle really well. That we would tell, oh, we'll try to not con crunch next convention, and then just con crunch the night beforehand. Anyways,
Why,
it's
why do I
Exactly.
why do I get the feeling that con crunch is like a must? Like even us sa katong last con na mo gyud,
Art
and then like
Connect.
yeah, we like rush everything in a month. So like I think it's an inevitable thing good if you're part of a con, diba?
yeah, but the thing is, it shouldn't
It
be the
shouldn't
norm.
happen.
But I think
Yeah.
it's because of the lack of being in a formal structure. I guess or maybe it's because a lot of us are maybe neurodivergent or something that we're timelined, or I don't want to say it's a stereotype, but it
Damn.
kind of is that we're just like, oh, we have a lot of time, and then you realize after a few days, months, weeks later, oh, where did all the time go? And then boom, you're in con crunch mode again. And
Exactly.
yeah, it's so funny, but at the same time,
Never
oh god,
ending.
it's never ending. Like it's a miracle if you actually manage to not con crunch. That has
Yeah.
not happened to me yet. In the years I've done artist alleys, I've not had a con where I was fully prepared.
Well, if you're
Which
boothing in a
doesn't know
con,
who I
like
am
I
as a
think
person.
even the con Even the cons themselves con crunch. So
The cons.
Right? Right? The people behind these cons have a touch of neurodivergency, maybe.
whoa. Yeah. Anyways, I think we still have. Wait, next slide, Dane. Yeah, we have like
We're just getting started.
yeah, right.
Okay.
That's right.
We went on a tangent
Hey.
on a few branching topics.
No.
Was a
no,
stream
no,
without
it's cool.
tangents.
I
We still
love the
have
one in the
Hale's
middle.
art.
Smart.
So
All
more
right.
awesome art. So I yeah, go. I'm excited for this one. So go ahead, more
Okay.
context.
All right. This is fun. I never really actually talk about the story behind my drawing process. But so the first one is one of my faves also. I kind of just wanted to like draw something very cozy, comfy. My art has this kind of surreal touch to it, I would say. I at least I try to. So when it comes to like colors, galaxy, and like um some kind of supernatural essence to it, I try to incorporate all of those things into one shot, and I don't know what came over me, but I liked how this came out. For the second one, have you guys watched the show Shira? The
Yeah.
I've seen
Princesses
a
of
bit.
Yes, I
Power.
have. Yeah,
I've seen a
Love
bit.
that
It's
show.
good.
Okay. So
I love
yeah,
that show too.
it's a great show. I recommend it to anyone. I really like this also because I was trying to push myself a little further than the usual stuff I used to make. So I thought since I'm always drawing kind of like people or subjects instead of background, I thought, what if I just made my subject the background? So this came out of it. And well, the creator of Shira, the reboot at least, she also kind of liked this, so it made me very proud to be acknowledged by the actual creator. Yeah, still holds up the show, I'd say. And then the last one here is Chainsaw Man. Do you guys also watch it? I'm a huge Chainsaw Man fan. So I finished. I like kind of caught up with the manga, and then I just had the urge to draw like kind of a cinematic still. But I thought, why not? Why not make it a triptych? And then there it goes. Like the last one was a little hard for me because like in the third panel there, everything is supposed to be white, and my art style is everything is supposed to be colorful. So it was kind of a challenge, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Nice. Hmm.
I'm curious, do you guys have a favorite out of my arts?
Oh, well, how do I decide? Actually,
I think
like a lot of your pieces. I like the your Breath of the Wild one. It's my wallpaper,
Ooh.
and it's on my
Oh,
wall.
what? Really?
Yeah, it's my work
Aw.
wallpaper specifically. My
Was it the
personal PC.
scenery one?
Yeah, the one where he's overlooking Hyrule.
Aw. I'm glad you still have that, yeah.
Yeah, it's on my wall right now, along with my
Yeah.
other Zelda related merch.
I think the one I like the most from you is this was when I was going through your socials, like from all of you guys. I like the one where it was Ash and Pikachu running in the sunset.
Oh,
It's a wholesome.
yeah. That one, I drew that after they announced that Ash would not be coming to the next season. And it just like
Aww.
he won the he became Pokemon champion, and now he's retiring at the ripe age of what, 12? I'm just so proud of him.
I wish I could retire at the right age of 12 too.
The dream, right?
Wish that was me.
In this economy.
We can't all be Ash Ketchum, guys.
Good for him. Good for him. Stay winning, Ash.
But yeah, like honestly, like these guys have like so much art. Like you guys should. I don't know if I should. Like you guys should check out their socials. I had a great time picking them out like last night. But how about
I
Ayin?
mean,
Like
the
Ayin, let's check out your art.
socials.
Oh, let's go.
Wait a second. Let me
Let's
just
go.
put the socials back. I zoomed in.
My
Wow.
socials is just Ayin Vui everywhere. All right, let's dig in. Gosh, this was
Go.
still when I was into BTS. I think BTS was the biggest um drive of my art that made me blew up on social media. The one on the left, that's I was part of a BTS Animal Crossing crossover zine. It sadly didn't push through because something went wrong with the mods. So I just ended up like posting it as is. It was supposed to be the cover. But yeah, sadly it didn't push through. But I was still able to like make prints of my art, and I had fun drawing this. This was a big project for me actually. I've never done something on this scale with all of those characters. But it did remind me of when I was still part of my last job before my current job in the game industry. Was I was a book illustrator, like an outsourced book illustrator. So I kind of put in the skills I learned from that into this piece. So yeah, I just drew like for those who don't know, BTS is a Korean boy band. Uh I love them dearly, although I have not listened to them in a while. And I love Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and all the Nintendo games. So yeah, I drew them interacting with characters that I feel reflect them. So there's Yoongi with Marshall, and they're fishing. Jin is also fishing in the front because he likes to fish. Jungkook with KK Slider because they just feel like they vibe together. There's Hobby J-Hope like scared of a spider, and then Dong behind him also scared of the spider. And there's Namjoon with Melba sitting by the waterfall. There's Taeyong taking a picture of Jimin, and there's Celeste and Nook and Isabel by the magic shop. That's also like a reference to BTS, and a flying whale, a reference to BTS as well. So yeah, it was fun putting in these tiny Easter eggs about them and in an Animal Crossing setting. I actually really like AU's alternative universes, so there's that. And then Oran High School Host Club, but it's also BTS. So I just like which characters would fit which boy, which guy. So there's Jin as Tamaki, Taeyong and Jimin as the twins because they were born around the same year. In the same year actually. Yoongi as Kyoya, J-Hope as Honey Senpai, Namjoon as Mori Senpai, and Jungkook as Haruhi because they're both like the latest addition to the group. On the right, my ship that I've shipped for so long since I was a grade schooler. I had a Bleach phase. I was obsessed with Bleach since 5th grade, and I really love Ishida Uryu and Inoue Orihime. And I know we're not going to be endgame, but I just found their relationship. They're both just nerds. They're the same swim club, and I just found them cute together. So yeah, that's a lot of my stuff are like self-indulgent things. So yeah, that's pretty much it for these pieces. What else? Any questions?
I just gotta say they're so cute. I'm obsessed with the first one. The composition is all
Thank
those
you.
elements. It just worked together. It's so satisfying.
Thank you. It's still one of my best pieces so far. I don't know if I can top this one. Like I was insane. Sketching this out like, oh, let's see if I can do this. I did this in Procreate, which is more insane because all those layers were a lot.
Wow.
I don't know if I
So
can
cute.
reach that level again. But yeah. What else?
Oh yeah, this is a question from me, but like, what softwares do you usually use?
Oh, before Photoshop, way before that, Painttool Sci. Currently, Painttool Photoshop at work, at my day job, and Procreate for my personal stuff. But I sometimes throw into Photoshop if I feel like doing it there. But mainly, I've been on the iPad because I like drawing in bed or lying down or in awkward positions that are not good for my
Current
back.
position.
I like to shrimp, sadly. It's not good for me.
Aye.
I'm tripping with that actually. Hold on.
Posture check, guys.
Posture check. Drink your water. Don't be like me. I'm constantly dehydrated. Dal has to remind me every single time. But yeah, I procreate lately a lot. So yeah, I guess we can move to the next slide.
Let's go. Wow.
What else do I have?
Wow.
More ships. That's my other ship. You can see I have a type of ship. I love Fire Emblem Three Houses. Dal introduced it to me. Dal's my partner. He's in the voice chat thing in supporting. So yeah, Annette and Felix, they're so cute. Kind of had similar dynamics with Ishida and Orihime. So okay, I have a type of ship. So yeah, and the one on the right is one of my early work of BTS that went off as well. I was inspired by one of their songs, and at some point later on, there was a music video that BTS released, and they had a scene where the boys were on a whale flying through the clouds, and there were people who were tagging me or like, "Oh my God, Yin, I remember your art. It's like one in the music video." Because my art came in like a few years before that music video, so I don't know if they've seen it. Actually, I don't know because there's a massive fandom. They're like, I don't know if BTS would see my art, but some people or I think maybe they saw it and took inspiration. I mean, I'm not the only one who drew this kind of a scenario, but it felt very similar, the composition. It's just like they're in chibi and the whale is purple. But it was very sweet when people were reminded of my art, and I also saw it and oh my God, it's like what I imagined. They're all doing it. And I know some people will be like, oh my God, they're what's the word I'm looking for? They stole my idea, but for me it's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm seeing, like, my vision was also their vision, and for me it was like a very sweet moment, like, oh, we all have the same vibe. It was nice. It was a fun time. I miss being in that era of peak BTS artist fandom. It was around 2018, 2019, and I guess like some people are still there, but I have like moved on to other things. But it's like an era I look back fondly because I would sell these artworks and people would buy them, or I've had people ask if they can print it and use it as their laptop screen cover, like the actual laptop top, what do you call that, vinyl sticker thing. Or like I had someone ask if they can draw my art. They can use my art as a tattoo, and then I'm like, whoa, wait, what? Really? My art as a permanent thing on your body? Are you sure about that? Yeah, they did, and I'm like, oh, that's really sweet actually that they would, think of my art in that way. So yeah, it's just it's fun. Art can be fun when you do it for not to chase numbers or not to like appeal to a certain audience. Me as an artist, when it comes to personal works, I'd like to be that artist who draws self-indulgent things, and if people enjoy it as well, then great, that's amazing. Like, I can't believe other people have the same taste as me. Although I did have, there were times that with social media, you do get blinded by the numbers or the amount of attention you get. That, oh my God, they love this one. I hope my next work is also loved in the same way. And if it doesn't, it kind of hits your, it kind of makes you feel bad. Like, oh, do they not like my art anymore? And yeah, it was a time. I think that's a reason why I haven't posted art actively anymore, because I don't want my art to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I keep saying that. I don't want my art to be connected to numbers, like I want to be able to fully enjoy my art as it is, and not because it did well online or it blew up or people liked it. Lately, if I do personal work, I just share it with like a small group of friends, and that's enough for me. And I know it kind of means that my current social media following is like dead or low or inactive, which might reflect on if I go to cons or something, I'm not like as perceived anymore. But I'm in a good position where I have a day job that I earn a consistent up income, and with the free time I have, I can just like do commissions on the side if I'm able to, or just do personal works that grounds me back into the things I like or reflects me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice. I agree there with it's not a numbers game. I think, let your art shine for what it is instead
Mm-hmm.
of being like marketing. A lot of artists
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
do marketing.
There's a whole vibe with artists right now that it feels the content creation of art. There's a word they use for that, but yeah,
Well,
it's like the
what
contentification or something of art.
it's what we use is TikTokification or something like more like Gabi kayo ka. There always has to be a story with something, and
Yeah.
sometimes
Like
uh
I don't want to feed the machine constantly. I just kind of
yeah.
want to
Yeah,
draw.
yeah. That's it's so some people don't realize how tiring it is to push yourself in that manner that you are a thing to be consumed. Like your art is something to be consumed by people. When I wanted to get back into that feeling where the art is something for me to pour whatever's in my brain or in my heart right now into it. And if it's hyperfixation on characters that I want to see together, let then that's all I want right now. Like I just want to have fun with art again because I do remember the time I was peak um I'll say peak following, I guess. Like I was actively getting likes, comments, follows, all that stuff, and I was chasing that number, and it really ruined my relationship with my art. That I was starting to draw art expecting it to blow up or expecting it to be well received online, and yeah, it was so detrimental that I was no longer enjoying art because I was always thinking about, oh, but does this look good? Does this look perfect? Or does this look, presentable to them? Maybe they won't like it because it looks awkward or this and that. And it was just drawing with the idea that you will be perceived for it was so, it kind of like stunted me even. Like, it made me feel like I'm not allowed to make mistakes with my art, which is so bad. I'm still feeling that right now, that there's still those feelings left in me that also kind of reflects at my work. It leads to me overthinking things and what's the word? Taking too long or never finishing something because I'm having a hard time, it doesn't look good. I'm just gonna give up on this. So it's a very harmful thing letting numbers or the algorithm or social media affect your art in that way.
I remember Clint mentioned something that's even related to work, related to this, is that you have to separate your job artist from your
Mm-hmm.
personal art. I don't know
Personal,
how you worded it.
yeah, from your work
Personal
art and
artist.
personal art.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
it
like that.
has to be separate. And that's where a lot of artists who are also social media personalities, the lines are so blurred. So it's like your personal art is your work art, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's such a hard place to be in. If you enjoy the social media aspect, the content creation, because I know there's artists who are so good at that and enjoy it, good for them. But then there's artists who feel like they have to they can only rely on social media to be seen, to get commissions or to get their merch out. Because I know I have been like downplaying like, oh, you shouldn't attach your art to numbers, but at the same time, it does help you get your art out there. Which like the more people who sees your work, the more people who will come to you for commissions or to buy your merch, or they will like subscribe to your Patreon or to your channels wherever you can make money out of it. That's where it's very hard to thread, very hard to balance it out. And it's just me, I wouldn't want to put myself in that space because I know I can't handle that pressure, that feeling of being perceived and
That's where the
needing to
lines get blurred.
perform. Yeah, yeah, it's so blurred if your personal art is your work art.
How would you connected to that? How would you separate your personal art from your or work art, it's gonna be different, very different, right? Because like your work art
Yeah.
is cutthroat; it has to follow a strict schedule, and people are expecting
Yeah.
something out of it. Then your personal art kind of depends if you're like once a month or every blue moon type of
Yeah.
poster. How do you
Yeah.
That's a really
separate
good
your
question.
It's a good question. I would like to know the answer to that question. It's something I still struggle with.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's
So,
easier
uh,
if you do have a different style for work and your art, but it's like you don't want your hobby to become your business too. It's
Yeah. That's something that makes it hard. That's something I had a struggle with when I started making merch. Like the artist alleys were fun because I was in there in person. I see people's reactions to it, and then I tried to do an art shop where I ship stuff to people. I didn't like that. I know some people enjoy the shipping, the packing and stuff. I was miserable that whole time because I was just so worried I would mess something up during that process. Like maybe I would mess up their order or I wouldn't pack it correctly, that it would get to them in a bad shape, or that imposter syndrome, oh, my merch isn't worthy enough to be bought online but on its own and like shipped to them, like this and that. It was I don't know, I didn't like having a shop for my art because it really felt like, oh, my art's a business now, so it has to be presentable, and it goes back to not being allowed to make mistakes, or at least me towards myself. And yeah.
sorry. Please continue.
And where was I? And I guess that's where when you turn your hobby into a business, it it kind of removes that freedom of just exploring and taking your time to figure out what you like, because now you have this expectation of you by other people, and maybe there's this fear that if you don't achieve that expectation, people will be disappointed or they will no longer like follow you, or whatever reason it would be. Worst case scenario, you get canceled or something,
Mm-hmm.
which is, a very valid fear. Like there's some things that people will get canceled over, and it's not serious, guys. It's not, like, or maybe it's just an art style dispute or like a subject dispute, like what they draw. There's a lot of things that could go wrong when you turn your hobby into a business. A lot is at stake, basically. Not to mention expensive.
Yeah, because your art now has to compete with other people in the
Yeah.
market.
Yeah, you have to think of advertising your art, make it marketable, make it presentable. Like it's not just drawing. When you're just drawing, you don't think of the other things. But then if you put that in mind, like selling your art aspect, you have to think of everything else that comes with it as a package. And that's a lot of stuff to think of.
yeah, can I just share some thoughts on that? Like now we're talking about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I've been having this conversation recently with like a circle of friends, like because art, like when you say like define arts, it's crazy. It's like, oh, like art's like this is expression or something like that. It's like some expression of some sort, or it's like it can be very personal. Oh, like they're an artist, personal, but like on the opposite end of the spectrum, when you're like a production artist, right? Like when you're
Mm-hmm.
creating illustrations for like either games or like story illustration books, whatever, and you can have a deadline. It's like those are two very different things. So it's weird to call it art for me personally. Like I've always seen it as like they're products, right? They have to churn out a product. Oh, they need like eight eight turntables for today or whatever. That's a product for that specific game or book or whatever. It's still art, I guess, but it's not the genuine art. Like I mean, it's hard. It's like it's blurry because I know it's still art, but it's not like. And you have to think of it more of like a product. I hate the word, but yeah,
Or content. if you want to
Yeah.
call it content.
Yeah. Yeah.
It,
I think,
it really
yeah.
depends.
Consumable.
There is a lot of people kind of end up thinking, oh, you're an artist, then you can just draw for fun all the time. But
No.
art is still a business. I think art is also a broad umbrella term in this case, but if you
Yeah.
want to go like illustration, being an illustrator is still work, it's a business. And I like people tend to forget that, I think sometimes.
Yeah, it's it's how do I say this? People lump art and like they say, "Oh, can you make a logo for me or can you make like a graphic design for me?" And they think it's all the same thing when in fact they have different approaches and sometimes these different like, ways to create it, and people see art and they don't see like the effort in making it.
Yeah, there really should be some degree of client literacy when, at least you're ordering something, you should know what you're getting.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to relate to that a bit, we're a game dev company, so we get a lot of, oh, you guys are so lucky you're working for a game dev company. Making games is so fun. It's not, it's still a business. So,
Right.
can
You're
be
investing
grueling.
time and effort.
Yeah, there's so
And
much R&D involved and seeing what works, what doesn't work. And people don't see the grueling stuff behind the scenes. And they only see the end product.
the end
So
product, it's pretty.
they just see, oh, pretty thing. And not realizing how much effort it took to get there to the final product.
yeah, I try not to be too like woe is me, the art. And sometimes it can be very fun. And I'm
Yeah,
lucky
yeah.
for that. But at the same time, there's like a balance. You gotta have to strike a balance. It's not all just out of passion that we do this. Sometimes, we draw stuff out of the need for rent.
Starts with passion. Ends with suffering. Just kidding.
Yeah. And you know what's another crazy thing to add to this conversation is that these like when things are like advertised or things are like the things that work on like for example TikTok, right? The viral content is like they like try to like romanticize everything like and it's like what works like, oh wow, he's working on a video game company or and it feels like they want to sell this narrative that like this very 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 like dreamy narrative or whatever, but like at the same time there's also this like the real side of it, which I think it's a good, that's why it's like you have to be kind of like balanced, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. That's
yeah.
important. Yeah, I would say what you're talking about is kind of like the romanticization of the industry, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
we should actually kind of be aware of those things because that's how they get you in animation.
Oh,
Like a lot of
yeah.
animators in Japan are actually suffering over this because on one hand you don't get paid, but on the other hand you're working on Naruto, your favorite anime, right? So
Passion.
like you should kind of detach yourself from the romanticization of art itself if you want to go into it as a business.
I think
Yeah,
it's kind
that's
of a
so
corporate
important.
fault or like a capitalism fault that
That too.
tries to
Yeah.
take advantage of passion.
Yeah,
use it
it's so
to-
common.
Funnily enough, like
Use it to
it's
justify free work.
Mhm.
I think that kind of correlates with basically a lot of jobs you in general because back then like when you this is just my based on my experience. So yeah, so damn, I don't know if I should say this. What the hell? Wait.
Say it.
Okay, no, okay, I'll just say it. Whatever. To me, I guess. But back when I was, I used to work. I used to work for Starbucks, man. Before everything, like, and people were very passionate there. The baristas are super into it, all that stuff. Shout out to my barista friends. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say something really a bit controversial. Holy
Let's
shit.
go controversy.
Let's go. That's what we're here
Damn it.
for.
Okay. But
Let's see.
before like everything, before like I guess before my marketing thing took off and like before I got into Capriccioso and everything, to make ends meet, I was a barista and everyone's super passionate about coffee. Like people who would be there would be like they they like the idea of being aesthetic, talking to people, all that stuff. And there's this thing called Coffee Masters. I don't know if you guys noticed, but have you guys seen baristas who wear black aprons when you go to Starbucks?
The Black Apron Coffee Masters.
Yeah, the Coffee Masters, like all that stuff. Like, yeah,
It's ranked.
I-
Your job is ranked.
yeah, and then like funnily enough, like you have to undergo like training and studying to become a coffee master. Like 3 months or 4 months worth of training and studying and everything. And there's no extra pay for this, huh? But
Oh.
like when you become a coffee master, your pay doesn't even increase. And that was kind of like my oh damn, I'm realizing this is kind of messed up because I'm gonna be a quote unquote coffee master, but I myself, like, my salary can't even afford coffee from Starbucks.
Ruben, Starbucks is gonna kill you for this.
But at least you're part of the coffee leaderboard.
No, I'm
Coffee
like,
ranking,
now
right?
I'm like,
Coffee.
ano like, we're like, shit, coffee master, but like, mukhaan kan manguha ra kog sobra di ka sa basurahan sa Starbucks kaya ka afford of lunch or some shit like that. Like, damn, like, this kind of
Man.
sucks. And then after, like, a lot of my coworkers, like, I think they kind of took offense to it na wala ko ng padayon because, like, sayang daw, and like, I should be passionate about it because it's not all about money and all that stuff. But
Passion does not pay the
That's what
bills,
they
honey.
say.
but
That's what
Oh
they
my
say.
god. I hate this
Yeah,
topic so much. It's been
I don't
not
think
about
my
money.
my
Yes,
my
it is.
barista buddies are watching this. I hope not.
Surprise.
I think, but yeah, but like, yeah, I think it correlates with multiple jobs. They try to push this narrative of, hey, like, you're getting this position or you're getting this rank, but we won't pay you, but at least you have this rank.
Companies gotta do better. Can't be doing that. No.
So yeah, like that. Yeah, that's all. Please don't sue me, Starbucks.
Wait, but dude, Ruben, I did not know that coffee masters don't get like a significant increase. I thought coffee masters were like, I'm a coffee master, so you're like, I don't know.
Casual
Yeah,
coffee.
I had a very-
rank competitive
yeah.
coffee.
It's crap. It's crap. And then, like, the thing is, they say that they're gonna increase your pay. Okay, whatever. But there's like it's not huge.
They
It's not huge at all. Like, it's not worth it. Like, really good worth it. Na kana imong giantos. Like, that's what you're going through just to get this. Not that even significant na bump. Like, yeah, and then again, like, because you're a coffee master and they expect you to study and try out stuff, like, you have to stay behind Ganya for your shift, and you have to use your days off to study. And yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking now.
It do be like that sometimes. But yeah, passion does not pay the bills.
Wait, I'm curious. Wait, did they at least let you keep the apron?
Oh god, no, I didn't. That's the thing. Like, I didn't even make it. Like, I just told them, like, I don't think I'm gonna paday. I'm just gonna quit.
Ah, fair enough.
And then, like, that's why I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna quit. I'm just gonna look for a better job, man. God damn it! No, damn. Okay, okay, whatever. Bye.
Damn it, I wanted to be a coffee master. Yeah, I was like,
Dobit's a coffee
God
master.
damn it. Okay, yeah, but to each of their own, I guess. Like, I understand that, like, passion is a really big thing and it's a driving force, but realistically, like, it can only get you so far. That's why I'm always for the philosophy of what Clint always says, like, there has to be a balance, that you work for your stomach and you work for your soul, or something like that. I forgot what Clint said, but something like that. Like, okay, it's cool to be passionate, but you also gotta be logical in terms of
I think you
how
paraphrased
much
it a little
effort you're doing.
bit. But yeah, it was something like that.
yeah, that's not what I said either. I just know. Okay, one thing that I do remember that I said
Yeah.
was I remember. Wait, one thing I remember that I did say was I think it was Nika when I was new. She like asked like, oh, like, do I ever want to work for like Riot or like League of Legends? Then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I was in a company that like pays well and has a pretty good culture, like I would rather work for that company than be in like some high prestigious, like, like, oh wow, you're working on this project, but then they're like, low-key abusive, low-key baity with their whatever, like, it's like I think at some point you can just like, let's go for something like that's more practical to be in and less
Sustainable to be in.
yeah, more sustainable to be in and less romanticized abusive relationships.
Yeah, that's kind of something I'm very grateful for the company I work for because they actively discourage crunching. Like, I would get actively told by Melina, "Oh, it's 45:30, get out of here, pants down." And I like that. I appreciate that because if you're in a game dev company, it's probably more common to be pushed like OT or like all that stuff like work on weekends. But if you find yourself in a company that actively like avoids that, like they make sure they schedule things in a way that doesn't burn out your employees, you're in a really good one. Like that should be something like smaller companies, I guess, should at least try to achieve because you will rarely find like a big company who pushes for that. Like it's really not good to be in a crunch type of a workspace. Because in the long run,
Yeah.
it will just like make you, not want to work or you lose your passion altogether. Or if you're not paid well, then it's just not sustainable.
Yeah, okay, to be honest, I have a lot to add to this topic, but like, I don't want to talk about it. It's an entire can of worms that I will just.
Talk
But
about
yeah,
I think it's
Yes,
a
let's go
perfect
back
time
to
to
art.
start talking about the kind of worms. It's a good opportunity. Let's go for it.
What's in
Yeah,
the
well-
next slide?
Is that the next slide is actually I forgot. Oh yeah, Capriccioso
Oh,
portfolio
yeah.
update.
Yeah, let's go.
Wait, let's go.
Why not?
Yeah,
Question mark?
we can carry on the topics
Okay,
later.
okay. Let's continue the topic
It's getting too intense now.
because we have a lot.
Y'all
Things
get
to
too deep
complain
into the
We still have a lot of things to complain about with the industry. That's good. But hey, Capriccioso portfolio update. I'll give the floor to Clint, son.
what? It's me? I thought it was Nika. Okay, well, no, I'll give it to Nika. But yeah, we're just gonna give
No.
everyone like an update to our portfolio. For some of you guys that don't know, I'm basically managing like the portfolio. Oh my god, I'm eating fries while talking. But anyways, I've been assigned to manage the portfolio for Capriccioso. So I think yeah, we started last year, but we stopped because of our connect, and then we came back with this around January. So it was very challenging because we it's like okay, so the direction of the art it needs to be somewhat mainstream because like we're not trying to attract one single artist. We just need to like one single client. We're just like let's just make something that shows a bit of like oh they're pretty the studios can do something pretty hard. So in case other studios need something that needs to be a bit easier, at least we can scale down. Like it's a very very complex like it's not a one answer type of thing. So direction was it was challenging. It same goes for the 3D. But anyways, Nika, you can go talk about your everything.
Let's say parts of slides.
I think you're speaking out already. Wait, I think this is the last slide. Do we have?
Oh,
Stop. I can share it on screen.
are you sharing it? It's loading. Hello?
Hello. We're still here.
Um.
Tell me what that means. Give me a few minutes, a few seconds, actually.
Okay, so while waiting for that, let me kill the dead air by just sharing. So making a portfolio for a studio and making for your portfolio for personal are like two very different things. Oh wait, no, is it already? So imagine you're like a person applying for a studio, that's like one thing. But if you're a studio trying to like apply work for other studios that you want to collaborate with, then that's just completely different thing. 'Cause it's like times three the weight or something. So, and of course, like we have to work with like, okay, what is Capriccioso's like art team, and what is their art team like sort of like capable of already? Where can we push? Where can we So it's kind of like it's a problem to like solve it. So is it done again? I'm just trying to kill the dead space, dead air.
I agree with that actually, because we're doing something similar in our company wherein aside from our current client, we're also trying to build like the internal portfolio of the existing artists, and like we would draw in like certain art styles to show that we can do it and hopefully attract the companies who lean towards those art styles, and it really I think that's where what's the word I'm looking for, the direction of your leads or whoever's in charge of the art team to push your artists to learn new skills or explore other art styles, because you'll never know if you're gonna get, I don't know, Pokemon as your client, although you've had that before.
You really never know.
You just had to mention that. Just kidding.
Dude, like, never mind. Yeah.
Is this another coffee master chica?
Now I feel like I'm like walking in glass. I just have questions about the Pokemon thing. Like, I don't know if like I've heard sprinkles of the story, but not the full. So I kind of want to know, but I don't know if we can talk about it.
Are we allowed to talk about it, Clint?
Yeah, Clint. Me who was
Well,
No,
okay, first off, I don't think there are many people who are like watching this stream. I don't think this would go viral. This would spread, and plus it was a project, right? And it's done, so I think we should be allowed to.
Are you all
You know
still
what?
I
in
didn't sign
NDA?
anything there.
Check your con.
Sue me, sue me, whoever you are. Come for me.
Actually comes for you.
Oh shit! I got an email the next day. I could talk to Dane. He's my boss.
Um,
Oh, wow.
talk to Dane. Give it all to Dane.
Anyways, do you want to talk about the portfolio stuff while we're in this slide?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, actually, from the 2D side, we've already done everything since I'm going to 3D. So, here you can see the structural design I've made for this portfolio mission. So, the portfolio mission started when Clint contacted Dane that he wants to be part of the Capriccioso, and it was like great timing, said, because since Dobet and Dane are already good at their stuff, the art is still needed some professional guidance. So yeah, it was really good timing that Clint came to us. And
I'm glad you're here.
what I can say is for the entire process, so we've made character design, concepts, and environment concept art, and until to that splash art. So it was really challenging. I've made some things that I don't usually do sa akong process of making art, like thumbnailing or like do values before actually putting colors in my work. So doing that, making your process slow and take things one at a time is really new to me. So it's pretty hard, but it's definitely satisfying since I learned a lot from Clint. And yeah, I was having some burn out after the portfolio because I need to put my soul and brain, my focus on this project. And then when it was done, it was like, okay, what do I do now? All my creative juices are gone. So right now, I'm just so, my mind is all over the place, but I can, I can still manage. So yeah, it was really fun working with Clint. I feel so honored being taught by some professional person. So really thank you, Clint. That was
So
awesome.
very, I'm getting shy already.
Whoa, Clint, the professional artist. Let's go.
Oh no 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 no! Wait, let me just wait. Let me just add one. No, wait. Shut up! Aaron, shut up! Wait, no no no. Yeah. To add so a lot of the stuff that I was mostly when I was handling the portfolio, they were just they were usually basics. That's crazy because they were basics, but the basics are always the hardest to learn. It's things like reading values or silhouettes or like that type of stuff. Usually the stuff that right, but it's like a lot of times it's like when from what I've experienced, I was also self-taught before, and I also started studying it. When you're self-taught, you kind of like get so just like do this, do that, and if you kind of like slow down and like start to really understand oh, why is it that they're telling me to learn that? I think that's where I want to help with with the art team in general. It's just going through the basic stuff and simplifying it and communicating it and answering questions, what it means. Yeah, that was mostly the stuff. That was my job basically, to interpret if ever there's something that's difficult of ever whatever information that they've already been exposed to, and basically just reinterpret it for them. I think that was basically just my job for things, right? Yeah. But it was good. We're concluding the portfolio. The 2D stuff is done, and now there's only the 3D characters. It's very big because I'm oh, I have to teach things that I'm barely catching up on, right? Anatomy, right? Let me open textbooks about anatomy and re-understand it. But yeah. Overall, I think I know when we started out, Nico was kind of struggling with when we were starting out, because it was very overload of information. Okay, this values, that, colors, color harmony, this. There's so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. But I think yeah. So I think, Nick, when you did the second round already with the characters, it was 2 times faster. You already knew what to do, and yeah, I think yeah, you did pretty well. On the everything kind of got a lot easier already. Yeah, and I'm sure when when you guys start working with clients, whether they let you do thumbnails or go straight to painting already, it should make it easier for you. Hopefully, yeah.
Ooh, Clint, idol.
Yeah.
No.
Really nice job on the portfolio, guys. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's very good. But I love her. She's so pink.
It was not
Not to be
intentional.
biased, but
Pink desktops. Oh yeah, you guys can. To those who are watching, you guys can download this on Wallpaper Engine. It's really good for pink setups. I don't have a pink setup, but I'm using this wallpaper. So download it now.
Yeah. You should support
Raid
me.
Shadow Legends.
Sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, this one, then the 3D part.
what's the part that you enjoyed doing the most, Nika, with the portfolio? What part of the process did you enjoy?
Part of the process. Rendering.
Nice.
That's my most, yeah. I hate blocking out stuff. I usually do jump into the colors. So that's my favorite part.
I can see that. Your renders are great. They're so good.
Thank you. Heavily inspired with League of Legends art style. I'm very fan of the work.
Yay. me on the opposite end. I don't make me render. Don't make me line art.
I'm actually exploring those kind of illustrations like cute and bubbly. Because I'm like really tired of like rendering and shit. So I'm on the
Yeah.
side, reading to that side.
Yeah, that's the fun part with art. Like, if you get tired of an art style, you can just try something else.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
and you'll never know if you'll find your new favorite art style. And oh, I actually like doing this more than that. Yeah, that's me right now. Still, I know I seem established looking, sort of. I don't know how people perceive me, but I'm also going through like an art style shift or change, like trying to come into trying to find that balance of me enjoying this art style and me wanting my art style to look a certain way. Because sometimes you want your art to look this way, but your process might not be able to get to that point. Like, what if you like to look at really clean art, but you're just a messy artist? Like me, I can't handle, like, I have a hard time doing clean light art or like clean render. Like the stuff that you see are that are like clean, that took me forever to do. And I do remember like having a hard time doing it. And excuse me. And if I just like embrace that sketchy style, like maybe I'll be happier. I don't know.
I'm curious to see how that turns out. I also
Yeah,
do have two different styles for myself, like one where I feel like doing lines and the other one where I don't feel like doing lines.
right? Like I
It's
have
just a
multiple
matter of
common art styles
emotions.
I have as well. Like, but yeah, it just shifts. It depends on my mood and how I want to approach
Same.
illustrating.
We are
But
sanity. Change
it's not in
some
the slightest
art
What's the
hard.
style.
sanity?
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sanity, like sometimes you just have to allow yourself to draw something messy and sketchy, self-indulgent, to like let loose and have fun. That's also like my. How do you guys feel about sketchbooks, but they look really clean?
Ooh.
It's
Kinda,
really nice to collect.
I get style envy with those.
Yeah,
I know I can't do that.
I feel you. I have style envy towards people who can have sketchbooks, but they look so presentable and clean. Because my sketchbooks are like chicken scratch, very unaesthetic.
I'm gonna post screenshots. I'm gonna post my sketchbook after this call. I'm gonna take photos and put it online and tag you.
No.
Go long. Because I wish I was one of those artists who can, sketch cleanly, but they're always like they go through that mess in the first, you know, that initial trust the process kind of vibe.
Just the process is so hard.
Let her
And
cook.
let her cook, let me cook, because it's just art. The thing with art sometimes is it really is something that's hard to do consistently if you yourself are not in the space to make it. Like, yeah, detach yourself from your work art and stuff, but at the end of the day, drawing still has to come from something inside you. So it's a hard thing to, achieve. Like some
Yeah.
people can be very methodical with how they approach art, that they're quite detached with it, but can still do something amazing, draw beautifully. But me, if I'm not in a good mood, my art will reflect that. If I'm not doing mentally well, my art will show that I'm not doing great.
Yeah. Oh, I realized something recently actually when it came to like my work method, because I realized I think there's two different types of burnout. There's one that's like physical, where you're just too tired to pick up the pencil, and then there's one that's creative, like it's not like pushing you further in the way you want it to go, so you end up
Yeah.
stunting yourself. Do you guys in the
Yeah, I
game
feel
studio
that.
ever? Yeah, I think every artist kind of has.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a way of passage, but
Sadly.
Yeah.
I think I'm going through not really. I think I'm because I've been burnt out for years now since I went down the slope from my BTS era high. I'm currently recovering. My D&D OC saved me from that. But yeah, I can still feel remnants of it wherein I have a creative art block, or I can't draw anything that's not my D&D OC, which is not a good thing. It's like, oh no, I'm hyperfixating, which is not a good thing if you're in a working, if you have work, if you have things you need to finish, like you have a deadline or something. But yeah, I think it's just a struggle balancing things out. Like, it's really a matter of discipline at that point, wherein maybe you time yourself, or like, okay, I will treat myself to this drawing if I can finish this drawing. So you have something to look forward to, or maybe your warm ups or cool downs are something related to what you like. But then after that, you have to go back to your task. Like, it's a matter of how you manage it at that point. Something I still struggle with. I will not deny my work is hard. Like, a lot of artists know that it's really not as easy as it looks like. People would see speed paints or like the TikToks of like seeing the process from start to finish, and they make it look so easy. You do not see the pain in between of drawing it. But it's a mix of, like, it can be fun, it can be painful or a struggle. But yeah, art has highs and lows, and it's just part of the journey.
I think
I
they
think
made that a meme too.
yeah, so add lang siguro to like what I sort of like to add like on it. I think it takes some time. Like, when I mean it takes some time, like, it's like a lot of it is also understanding yourself, like what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like for example, some people, it works for them to post on social media and make their art content. That works for them, diba?
Yeah.
But for some people, it doesn't work for them. So a lot of it is understanding. Like, some people prefer the, like, oh, they can work on something. They have a producer to give them the task, 8 hours. That works for them. There's some people that prefer the more like, oh, I just want to freelance and like be super consistent with my work. Like, yeah, a lot of it, I think, is person to person. And
Yeah.
I think it's also about exploring what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so true. That's why you shouldn't like stop yourself from trying out something new. Like, if you feel like, oh, I found my art style, but if you're itching to do something else, but you're stopping yourself because, oh, but people already like know me for this particular art style, you're actively stopping yourself from finding out if there's something more for you or something else for you, because that's what makes being an artist cool, I guess. That, if you let yourself explore, you'll discover yourself along the way. Like, if you let yourself, try. And I guess on top of that too, you can also explore what you like outside of art. I think it's something that some artists don't realize, that they need to get inspiration outside of art itself. Because there was a time I would have art envy of other artists, and me not realizing that those artists get their inspiration from something outside. Like, maybe it's from nature or from fashion or from small things in their lives that they enjoy or are connected with. There was a time that I was solely focusing on other people's art styles that I failed to look into exterior inspiration. So that's me right now trying to get inspiration from fashion, because I'm also into fashion. But then realizing, oh, I actually have a hard time drawing clothes sometimes, like frills and stuff. So, okay, I'll try something else. I'll try to draw food. Maybe it's not as appealing, but it's also fun. Like, yeah, or like.
Ayin, can you this is like just to like cut in and this is for both I want to call you Hale and Hale and Ayin.
Yeah.
So Ayin mentioned this thing called art envy. I want to know what you guys think about that. Like, what is art envy, and like, because it might be the first time, like the viewers, it's their first time hearing it. So, like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys,
right.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. Um,
Kind
ikaw,
of speaks for
Hale.
itself. Yeah. Kind
Yeah,
of, yeah. It's just I guess there is a deeper sense where, like, if you're an artist and you just constantly compare yourself to wanting different art styles but never pinning down one, then you could be suffering from art envy.
yeah. It's a tough place to be in. Whenever I'm in that spot, it's just art feels very painful because it hurts my personal relationship with art, wherein I'm trying to get a specific look rather than using art as a way to enjoy it or something like that. And because some people want the instant
Gratification.
gratification of, oh, my art
Yeah.
still looks like this, look at it, it's nice, right? Without going through the process of, so why did your art style end up like that? Like, what inspired you? Or is it because of the way you draw, or the way you look at colors, or the way you, like, do your lines? Because art style is pretty much just what's the word?
The way you draw it.
Yeah,
The
the way you
default.
draw, the default. It's just how you interpret things, like how you, like, because people can look at the same model or at the same item, but the way they draw it would be so different because maybe you're focused on that model's eyes or on the model's hair.
Yeah. The perception of every
Yeah,
individual human is a unique and special thing, I think. And that's how art is the only way we can, like, perceive the world through each other's lenses, I think.
yeah. And sometimes you might get too caught on how other people see things that you don't find your own way of seeing things. It doesn't have to be a fully bad thing to refer to how people look at things. Maybe you were trying to look for a way to put it on paper, but you just don't know how. And then you see that this artist reflects how you perceive things. So you're learning from them. That's how I actually, find my art style is like, oh, that's how they do colors. I actually really like that. That's how I also how I perceive colors, but I didn't know how. So, you
Yeah.
copy or take inspiration from them.
I still get art envy, but I don't let it become like a mental blockage, like maybe when I was younger. Nowadays, I just, like, really, and envy is almost like interchangeable with appreciation. I might not
Yeah.
have the same art style as an artist that I like, but then that, in a way, it's kind of like researching my own taste and level of what I like in art. And that can be fun. Like, if everyone kind of, you couldn't, like, distinguish art styles from each other, then art would be so boring. Right?
Right? Yeah. Like, I really appreciate artists who are so good at line art because I will never be that person. I can never be that line art person. And a lot of my artist friends are amazing with line art. And I know I will never reach that level, but it's just nice to appreciate it. And, like, look at the cake they can make, and look at the cake I can make. Like,
Yeah,
we'll just have
there's
different
two
cakes.
cakes.
There's two cakes. That's something I've been trying to keep in mind, that just because your art doesn't look like theirs doesn't mean yours is any worse or any better. Like, someone else wants your art or your type of cake, and that's fine. It's okay. It's something my partner keeps telling me because I still get imposter syndrome whenever I make art or think of, oh, I have to make merch of this art. I don't know if anyone's gonna buy this. And you're like, Yin, people love your art. They're actively looking for it on your socials. Stop thinking that no one wants your art. And
Yeah.
it's just
So,
it's just a constant battle because there's a lot of artists out there, and some artists have similar vibes as you. So it makes you feel like, oh, why am I even bothering doing this or making this, without realizing that there's always gonna be something that is uniquely yours. Like, maybe it's the subject you draw or the theme or whatever it is. There's something inherently yours alone that maybe it could be similar to someone else, but it could also be a you thing, and it's something a lot of people should embrace. whatever quirks you have, embrace it, because you'll never know who enjoys it, right?
To kind of like insert lang, since we're on this topic, I think it's very important like these things get talked about more. Like I agree, like artists are we're living the life being in game dev, and you see like the whole romanticization. It's like, yeah, I'm super against that. But also, I think it's like really important that like artists talk about these things more and like inform each other more. Because like sometimes we can be like a fan of other people's art, right? And we think that they're just living the life. Like, for example, I'm a fan of Hale's art. I was gonna say Hannah, but Hale's art, and I'll be like, oh, she must be like living the life, like she's just drawing all the art. I'm such a fan of her work. And then like we forget that like, Hale also gets imposter syndrome from time to time. Hale also gets burnout from time to time. Hale can also, right? Like it's very easy to forget these things. So I don't know. I'm just I support like people discussing these things more and being more open about it, and not about like, oh, I'm doing so well, my life's perfect, look at me, I'm working on games, or like
Games is
Not.
fun.
I'm coping so hard.
Yeah.
But actually, my since I took like a backseat on the grind of being an artist alley cons and stuff, like it's been nice just taking it slowly and just rediscovering what I like to draw. For me, I realized ever since I really like drawing romantic couple stuff. Like I love ships a lot. Like whenever I'm into something, like whatever media it is, I always lean towards, oh, I like these two characters together, I ship them. Because I guess that just makes me a romantic person, basically. And it's something I want to reflect in my work, or I like stuff that are very cutesy and fashion inclined, or cottagecore. I'm leaning towards that. So it's something I'm trying to draw more so that it reflects in my art, so that people would be able to see, oh, that's what they're into. I'm also into that, so we can vibe, or I can relate with her.
The communication
Yeah.
aspect of it.
Because I guess I'll go on a bit of a tangent with people who make merch or content. There will be people who make content for the sake of content so that they get more people to follow them or to watch them. So it would mean jumping on the bandwagon, drawing fan art of the current trending anime or social or media popular. But then maybe they're not necessarily big fans of it. Like they know it's popular, so they'll draw it. It's not inherently a bad thing, but I think there's people who can tell if you really like it or if you're drawing it for the sake of drawing it. Like people can smell. I guess people can smell the soul of a person.
yeah, like you can't just be like, oh, you can't just be like, I'm a furry artist, let me make furry art and make tons of money, but you're not actually a furry.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest things that I know people joke about, like, oh, let's become a furry artist or an NSFW artist. There's so much money in there, without realizing the hard work that those artists put into their stuff. It's something people will always look for the artist because they love their work, because they see the passion behind it. And that's why people pay for that luxury commission price, because it's a custom piece and they know the artist poured love into it,
Oh, I see. But doesn't
Yeah,
this
so like,
also move into the separating your art person and your work art and your personal art? How does this
Oh, I guess,
interact?
yeah. We could talk about this from like an artist aspect, and like being part of being an artist is like putting yourself out there. You're like the way you think and all the personnel things that make your art you. But then there are also people nowadays who are just content makers, and just like I see a lot of people just selling merch of things they don't know about. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's a fair thing. Everybody needs to earn their
Must
we name
share.
drop.
in
Can
their
we
own
steer
way.
drama and name drop?
I don't
Yo-
have any names to drop.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's just something I've noticed passively. But I wouldn't put it against those people to if they own up to the fact that they just want to make money. That's fine
Yeah,
and on its
yeah.
own.
If you're honest about it, there's no,
Yeah, it
not
would
a
be
big
kind of
issue.
awkward though. Like if
Yeah.
somebody comes up and be like, "Oh, I love this character too," and you have absolutely no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's just awkward. It's just a disconnect, basically.
Right.
With what you made or what you're selling with like the people who wants to maybe connect with you, because I feel art inherently is about communication and connection.
Right.
My art, I want my art to be a way to connect to other people. Like I want to look for the people that I vibe with, that I'm like, oh, you're just like me, for real, for real. We both enjoy the same things. That's why I lean towards self-indulgent works, because I just want to have a good time, I just want to have a fun time at artist alleys. And when people come up to me and they fangirl over the stuff I draw, it makes me really happy. It makes me go, oh, they love my work. Oh, you like
Oh
this thing
yeah,
too.
that's the high we chase.
Let me yap.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's the high I chase in artist alleys every time. Like, oh my god, you love. I would make merch of things I know will not sell well. Like,
Mm.
how many people do I know that loves Netflix and Ishime? These ships that I love. Barely any people. It's such a small community. But whenever I find them in the wild, in the same area as you, it's such a fun time because you like them too. Oh my god, it's like I didn't think I would find you here. Like, oh, I'm not alone in this specific area. Like, it's not just me here. And it's just
It's almost like sending out a beacon for
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
who likes the same stuff you do.
It is, and it's just such a fun time, and that's what I love about conventions and artist alleys in general. It's just going up to that artist like, oh my god, you love this thing too, me too. Can I buy it from you? Like, oh, what do you like about this thing? And I just start yapping, and that's how you befriend so many people. And that's how I find a lot of my friends actually. Like, oh, I like this thing, you like this thing. Let's vibe. Let's be friends. Like it really can, gives you it gives you it's your doorway to a community, to finding the people that you can belong with or be with, because sometimes a lot of us artists tend to come from places where we're not accepted, or where like we grew up in a normie community or something and no one really gets you in those places. So when
It
you're
can
an
be a
artist,
niche.
yeah, it can be a niche, right? So it's just a way to connect with other people, and that's the aspect of art that I really love. Even though I know on social media, at least, I haven't been connecting with people, but I think it's because I'm in a comfortable place that, and as an introvert, I guess, like I prefer being in a more intimate community, like with like, or I guess I'm just old. I just want to like keep a smaller company right now. But yeah, it's still a fun thing. Like every now and then you go out in the wild and then you put yourself out there and tell the world, this is what I like currently. Please talk to me about it. Buy my wares while you're at it.
Right, get two birds with one stone.
Yeah, yeah. But no judgment to the artist who wants to make it their main income, because living is already hard, and if it's something you can bank on to earn money to live and survive, go for it, because it's a resource you put your you invest into. So we shouldn't pit artists against other artists. I guess the only thing that would make it bad is if you're actively stealing from another artist, or you're ripping off.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's a
you're-
no.
yeah, that's a big no. Just as long as you're not stealing AI.
Someone mentioned it.
The very opposite
Oh.
of art. I don't even want to call it art. It's just AI images.
It's AI generated images.
Yeah. That's a whole can of worms I do not
Another
wish
can
to
of
delve
Oh
into.
yeah.
We lack an entire stream for this. We kind of touched base on AI art in the previous streams, but like nothing too deep. We kind of have had the same sentiment about AI art. So anyway,
But yeah.
I feel like talks like these. I feel like talks like these, they should really like reach like more people, especially like these are like super important things. Like especially like like letting people understand that at the end of the day we're all just also people, and we're also like struggling with these things. Like it's like sometimes no one talk about it. I don't know. I think people should talk about it more.
exactly. some people are just like it gives people an idea or like a look into the struggles of the other artists or the people that you put on pedestals because they're already quote unquote established.
Yeah.
They're also struggling. So yeah.
Yeah, they're struggling or they may be in a good place, but it takes a lot of effort to stay there, you know? Like it takes a lot of support. I feel that's what people also don't realize is a lot of the artists who do really well, they have really good support systems. I have a good support system. I wouldn't be able to reach I won't be the artist that I am right now without the support of my partner. Like I would say Dal did a lot for me. Like he helped me like with getting my tablet actually and like, all the other stuff that I've invested in. And he's like my biggest fan. Like it's so it feels so heartwarming to have someone have your back and understand the struggles you go through or like support you and pushes you to like be your best self and also have the grace to like be understanding if you can't be your best self because it's a hard thing to to do or to keep at. So yeah, I think a lot of artists should look at these established artists and remember that there's probably someone behind them who's like has a steady income that helps them do their freelancing stuff or their they have a partner or have a family or so a support system basically. Because I think there's a
love
lot
to
of
see
artists
it.
who don't have
Creating like having a good support system is really important, especially when you try to jumpstart a career like this.
yeah.
We're not really sure if how it'll end. It's either we're gonna starve or we have to go back to corporate work, like normal corporate work. Like,
Exactly.
and I think
Any of you guys want to go back? Just kidding. Sorry.
and I've actually experienced like I just also wanna fit in. I've also experienced something like that one with my partner. Like she before when I was still when I just got off Starbucks and I was still starting to work somewhere that's in my niche, na marketing. I didn't have sueldo yet, so she actually sent me money to buy lunch because I didn't have money. And I think
Aw.
like it's
Sweet.
stuff like that that's very important into
Yeah.
motivating you that you can do this. And yeah, at the end of the day, what really motivates us for me lang what really motivates me is to like that moment is like the moment of like, okay, damn, like I really feel like I need to give back, like I need to work even harder just so like I can
Exactly.
give back. But
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Wait,
that kind
Ruben,
of
did you
artist.
cry? And that happened. We were like so touched you cried. Just trying to imagine it.
Ruben,
no, I did not. What the hell?
It's okay to
I was at the
cry.
office, man. I was in the middle of a Zoom meeting and I was like, this was the time na marag. This was before Capriccioso pa good na. I would like, because I hated my other job after Starbucks. It was still kind of a corporate job, marag. Yeah, I would like look for work from home jobs and other opportunities. And like, I even took my Capriccioso interview in my car because I still had my day job there. And yeah, marag na, I think I got lucky good na I landed gig here in Capriccioso. So I think that kind of jump started my
Yay.
marketing career. So
Nice.
and I'm also lucky with my partner as well.
so
Yeah,
That's great.
partners are so underrated. Like if you find a
Yeah.
good partner, keep them.
Yeah. So to the single artist, you need to find a partner
yeah.
so that it's
First step on becoming an artist, find a partner.
Find a partner or a supportive family or a sibling or whoever can, just keep you afloat if things go sideways. Or fellow artists, I don't know. Like I'm not sure how other people do it because, well, I have a different situation. But maybe like artists can like support each other.
Found
Like,
family. Yeah.
the found family trope, underrated.
Yeah, I hope like I'm looking at all you guys' assets right now, and I hope this game you guys are making takes off because I can see you put in a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
like you
so-
guys explored a lot of things. That's Oh, character sheets are so hard. I tried. It's something I struggle doing.
And
So,
in
like,
that topic,
being.
sorry.
Mm-hmm. Go.
Sorry.
I'm just
please continue.
admiring your works. I'm just admiring your works.
Because it was good timing that you mentioned that, because the next slide was the Haphazard Angel art style expansion, where the Capriccioso artists are going to talk about.
Yippee!
Talking about Yippee, do you guys want to play Lethal Company after this?
I cannot do horror, sadly. I will look at you guys play Lethal Company, but I cannot play myself.
I don't know if people are awake for that. Anyway, Ruben, is this a good place to tangent into this topic?
What's the top?
The new art styles.
Hey, yeah, go show them.
Remember
Yes,
the
show
first
them.
art style? I mean, have you guys seen it already? I don't think I sent it anywhere.
Ooh! Oh, I am loving this.
Go Dan.
I like this direction.
Show them one by one na lang.
It's not
Choose your bet.
These are great, man.
So
These are
we're,
great. You know
we're
when present
exploring other art styles, representing several types of art styles. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that's art style number 2. That's made by me.
Oh.
There's the other one, looking soft, but we're kind of leaning towards to more creepy but cute kind of art style. So yeah, next
And unsettling
art
type of
style.
art styles.
Yeah.
Paper.
Cute.
Oh,
So we don't know. I don't know what came to Dane's mind, but he designed Kaz the ball creature the center circle, and we just went with that. I don't know
I said it
why.
again and again. I just used the simplest shape I
I
could find
love
in
a
Canva.
biblically accurate circle.
yeah.
I just used a circle in Canva because that's the easiest way to illustrate, and then we just stuck with it.
He's friend shaped.
Friend shape.
Oh, true that. Okay.
And here are the types of wings.
Yeah, that's part
A bit
of
of
the concept.
context. Yeah, a bit of context.
An
Each
age
wing is
The
Oh wow.
7 deadly
I like it.
sins.
Yep, each wing is based on the seven deadly sins. They see a different world from the other wings.
Oh, wow.
And
So
at
does
same
the
time,
background
there's
change?
Yep, the background changes. Each person, this is a multiplayer game, controls one of the four wings. And each wing sees a different version of this world. So they have to
Nice.
work with each other and compete against each other to get to whatever, to get to the goals. It's a co-op game. You can think of it.
Oh my gosh, simple enough, but very nice. Like synopsis.
Yeah, I ever since you guys released Haphazard Angel, I love the idea of a co-op Angel game. And then I like this direction you guys are going with, like expanding on the lore. And it shows in the design.
There are more stuff here. Go Dan.
What's his name?
Casfiel.
Casfiel Balthiu Tabri.
He's our bot.
Him.
Like he's our bot in the server.
Ah,
Yeah,
You
it's
know, remember
funny.
the one that greeted you? That's this guy.
I love him already.
Then
That's
for
Kevin.
conducted in this
Aw.
Kevin.
I love him.
I care him.
I care for him.
Hello.
He's a little creature.
This is the old one, right? Is this the old art style? The first one?
This
Or
one of the
is-
new ones. It's more of an actually paper style that we were going for at first.
Like
At
Paper
the
Mario.
start, but we didn't end up going
Yeah.
with it.
It's more like a doodle. Like Winged Kid style or something.
doodle
Next one
jump.
is completely
Oh.
opposite from the previous one. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Super rendered.
I'm just trying to. It's kind of just a random art style. Anything that I can come up with. So it's mostly less like Don't Starve to Death or Tim Burton style.
This
Very
one's also
nice.
really cool.
Cute.
Yeah, it's more like a watercolor texture.
I love that it's
Ooh.
a stage play vibe.
Oh,
Ooh.
this one is kind of meta. The meta voxel game.
Yeah,
It's fun, right? Like they're doing R&D to like explore
Yeah,
different art
yeah.
style and like see what works. It's like it's so like for me like maybe they might not feel it right now, but like working for like doing R&D is like such a rare opportunity.
Yeah, this is something that we would do at our company as well, but it doesn't happen often because it's always the client stuff first. It's prioritized. But whenever we get to do this, it's always a good thing because you're like pushing the artist to do something new, and it can lead you to like other projects. Like if you nail a certain art style, like it will attract the clients you might want, you know. And I like all your exploration so far. You're not sticking to a specific art style or vibe. You're actually going for like all sorts of directions with your R&D.
Yeah,
And that's
See,
good
we're on the
because
right. We're on the right road.
I hope
yeah,
so.
this
Well,
is
it's
this
kind
is
of
a good
painful
direction to take.
yeah, it's even painful that we might have to choose one of these really good ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's gonna be the kicker. Like, oh, we have to choose only one because you can't choose, you know, multiple.
Each
You have
of
to
them
have
has
a
What if we
unified.
their
can?
own. Oh, yeah, different worlds,
can?
different stuff.
Actually,
So
The
many
artists are gonna
assets,
die.
though.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
actually.
expensive.
The artists are gonna
Your
die
producer
though.
will go insane.
Yeah, that's the thing with R&D and like, oh, I want everything. You have to now think about the repercussions of that, of getting
Yeah.
everything. You have to pay your artist. You have to, the producer has to stay
The
sane.
timeline, my
The
goodness.
timeline. Yeah. That's
Right.
and that's what's fun about R&D is you can see all of these things you can do, and then, you know, from there you like trickle it down to what's the base thing, what's the most important thing you want to get out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember Dane asking me like, "Oh, Cliff, we're gonna do research for art, Haphazard Angel art style. Like, what would you suggest for to start?" I was like, "Oh, Dane, you should count how many months you have to budget for this project and like find an art style that can fit within those months. You know?"
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really good advice, actually.
That's good advice. You have to think of the timeline. Like you can't be too what's the word? Too
Rigid.
ambitious.
Yes. And also limitation breeds creativity.
Yes,
Mm,
it does. It
mm.
does.
This one's one of the really weird and really cool
Oh, I
ones.
like that.
Hey, yo, that's so cool and creepy. Dal's having
Yeah.
a fun time, I'm sure.
Junji Ito style.
Dal, do you like this?
Yeah, one of my friends actually did an animation similar to this style, and it went like on IGN. It's pretty. So people like this for sure. I'm not sure if that's the thing you're going for, though, but keep them coming. I'm really enjoying these.
Same, same. These are cool.
Oh, it's almost
Adventure Time.
yes, but I like the tree. The tree gives it away. Oh, okay.
Gives me the Powerpuff Girls feeling.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's got that deco kind of thing going.
And
I love all
the
these style explorations.
early 2012
giving.
mobile game. style.
Yeah,
Oh,
giving me
yeah.
app.
Mobile app looking.
And I think that's it so far with the exploration. We still haven't decided on which style we'll be sticking with. We don't exactly have the timeline yet, so we're kind of focusing on outsourcing clients' work.
Yeah.
But it really makes us excited to start working on Haphazard Angel very soon.
Nice.
So-
Man, if I didn't have a day job. Keep me joke.
Do you guys have like a side by side of all of these? That would be really helpful to like put them all together. Because like sometimes when you put it in one picture, your eyes tend to gravitate to one.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then you
yeah,
can
Just the
yeah.
last one.
Mm.
Just do a side by side of it.
Oh, I like the logo exploration for this one actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm biased
Right?
towards
I feel
this
like I
style.
feel like we should like I feel like Capriccioso should really just put these out and like
Yeah,
for
this
people
is
to
good.
see.
I
This is
think
good
it's
for a
It's it
portfolio as
it
well.
tells the narrative, like, oh, we're exploring the art style, like that will buy people and like, oh wow, what is this, right? And like
Yeah, and then
yeah.
you can make a concept art book.
Yeah,
The making
and
of.
you can see people going, "Oh, they should have gone for this style," or "No, they should have went with this style."
Yeah, you get cancelled.
you get cancelled for
No.
choosing the wrong style.
Yeah,
'Cause that's always the
biz
fun
dev
part.
is so fun. Yeah, when you're, especially if you're like a tight knit group and you guys all have the same goal.
I will leave it
I
to
personally
Ruben
really
to
like
make the content for
the.
this. Sorry.
I kind of like the one with the third one maybe with the lion.
Yeah, can you go to the next few slides? I like the first one actually. It caught my eye. And then
Oh,
I don't
here.
know. I
Okay.
don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm creating the presentation during the
Oh no, it
during
Oh.
the stream.
that's fine. But yeah, the third one, the first and the third one have similar vibes. Like you can
Oh
probably
yeah.
like merge it. Because my brain has latched onto the first and third actually. I'm just biased to like the vintagey Victorian esque vibes.
I
And
think
that's
there's
what
a
I'm into.
strength to each of them because that, but I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
something about the first and third. I think it also screams like indie game development, which is
Yeah.
like it gives the reader kind of like a clue of what you're doing. But you know what I really like is the cleanness of the third one, but the contrast of the first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with that actually. Because the third one does feel washed out,
Oh,
but that
muted
could be
siya
like
naman.
but that could be like a stylistic choice. But when it comes to games, sometimes you have to favor readability
Mhm.
Yeah,
for
readability is very important.
yeah,
Uh,
especially for your for accessibility as well. For those who might have a hard time seeing things.
yes. Uh, I really like the lower left
Yeah, yeah.
palette though. The palette. If you could merge the three of those together, I think you have a winner.
Yeah, the color palette on the lower left is good because there's contrast. Like the blue helps make the characters pop out.
Let's go. We have a better clue now.
Oh, you guys have to do lists. Your 80s are telling you.
But yeah,
Exciting stuff.
I do love it's funny how me and Hale have like very similar commentaries.
Right?
It's like the time when I was consulting you about the artist alley procedure and like how
And we're
we
just the
choose.
same brain cell.
Yeah, we're like, oh, you have the same process as me. I feel validated. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you have good taste.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. You have good taste. Capriccioso has good taste in artists. Thank you for having us.
Yay.
Yeah,
Good
thank
job,
you
guys.
guys.
Good job, guys.
Yippee.
You're awesome artists.
But yeah, I do love the
Sure.
concept of Haphazard Angel, and this is a really good direction. I'm really loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Also,
Ruben.
also, you guys know the squint test? You guys know that one?
The
Yeah.
Like-
thumbnailing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That could help you guys.
If you do the squint test, the one that strongly stands out is the middle right and lower left.
Mm.
Yeah, I think lower left also when it comes to like color,
The color
the
palette.
blue. Yeah, the
The blue helps.
yeah.
But yeah, this could be like a fun tidbit if you have a special stage that just shows all of these.
Oh, Ruben's back. Sorry. Ruben disappeared. But we'll be leaving it to Ruben. The content for these. He'll probably have a plan or a job for Reels and other things that we can work with what we have so far. while we're in development.
Very nice.
Oh wait, are you already here, Ruben? Nisha, he said crap nawala ko. What did I miss? Me mentioning you.
Oh, by the way,
Oh, he's here.
I
Sorry,
think
Ruben.
something. Hello, I think something. I think something to be worth of note is katong amo ni present sa from when Dobit and I presented this to a publisher sa Game Dev Summit. They said they really like the art style naman, but they said na they don't know, but they feel like changing the art style could either bring more success to the game or less success to the game. Like there's no in between now because
Oh no.
the art style is already unique enough now na it could stand out when you're putting it beside other games. But then giving it a more
Taste.
conventional art style might have it like might increase the likeliness of having it published by a big publisher. So there's that now. So I don't know how that I
It
don't know
feels
what
pretty good
that
when they
means in the
said, Ruben, this is exactly the kind of game they want to publish. Wait, did I paraphrase
Haphazard
that
Angel on the
correctly?
Switch.
Or was that
Ooh.
inaccurate? Was for us. Back me up here.
Yeah, actually we pitched this to Team 17, and then like the publishers of Overcooked, and then like they oh wait. Whatever.
Dude, the stream
You
was
didn't
probably
hear,
like our
you didn't
most.
hear anything.
Dude,
You know,
we did not like. Dude, we did not filter ourselves in the stream, man. Like I think
It's
most especially me. I
fine.
think Starbucks Team 17 and Pokemon is coming after us on the stream.
so with regards to that, so yeah, they they said there are two publishers actually, and then like one said that the game's really good, like they heard 100 pitches every day, but there's something unique about it that make it stand out. Like the one publisher said, you guys blended the perfect milkshake. So yeah, but something to take note is the art style because it's something they need to market with. So that's the most important thing. So it's either the art style that will bring it down or bring it up. Oh, did I lose?
Yep,
No?
we're still here. We're still here. Yeah, exciting times. And it did give us a bit of validation on the direction. Just that we need more time to be able to actually work on the game. That's
Yan.
yippee. Fun stuff.
I believe
More
in
stress
y'all.
always. Ben is on again. Yeah,
Ruben, no.
I guess that's it for the art style part. Next we
Yeah.
What's up next? I don't actually know the schedule.
Um.
I think this was the last.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
It's supposed to
That's
be
the last,
first.
actually.
Oh,
I remember, like, if we have time, we can talk about whatever we want.
Yeah, we can do
Ren-
whatever the hell we want.
whatever you want.
Would you like to hear about our Ren Fair experience?
Oh yeah, dude, we have
Yeah.
like a lot set of
All
questions.
right.
So how was Unfair, man?
Oh,
was
the
it?
best.
Slide ready.
Like, not to be biased, but probably the best event I've been to in a long time.
Wow. That's
Oh
me.
my goodness. Well, the
Um,
bar is quite low this 2023, last 2023, but it's, yeah, well.
Yeah, but even
But is it
compared
good?
to it was good for for
Yeah.
their first event. It was amazing. You want to start, Hale?
Very well organized, honestly.
Yes.
Props to the Ren Fair team because that big of an event for the first time, and it pulled in a lot of people. There's so much to talk about. I'm like trying to, but overall, I really had a great experience.
Same. Me too.
We went all 3 days.
I saw
Yeah.
some
It
videos.
was.
Yeah. You were outside, right?
Me.
Outdoors,
Yeah, it's an
I think
outdoor
it's
event.
outdoors. Oh wow.
It was in a ancestral forest in Baguio.
Oh, wow.
So
It's in Baguio, even.
yeah, it was in Baguio.
Sorry, I have no
It was
idea about
in
this.
Carantes Ancestral Forest. I should throw in pictures if I have. Hold on. While I'm looking for pictures, I'll just say
You can- Okay.
yeah. Basically
Ren Fair, right?
Renpai.
Wait, what is Ren Fair? Like, what is Ren Fair supposed to be?
It's a Renaissance Fair. It's short for Renaissance Fair, and it's the first one in Southeast Asia or in Asia in general, because it's a Western thing where people would go to this event and they would reenact like the medieval Renaissance times, basically.
Wow.
So there's people wearing like being nobility or peasants. There's
Oh,
like
wow.
jostling. There's
There's jostling.
reenactments. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there were
in
so
other
many
with
things.
horses.
There
yeah.
was horseback, right?
Wow.
In Baguio, we had horses. There's no jostling, but there's like horses.
Wow.
We rode horses. I
There
got
was
to ride
also
a
LARP.
horse. There was LARPing, live action role playing. Our friends did LARPing. There were bards performing, like the very not modern vibes of singers. They really sounded like bards from olden times. It was so fun. There were performances. There were contests. Like there was like the queen of the fair, or there was even like a drag show and a burlesque show at night. So
Wow,
what
that
me,
was great.
Hale, they were great. What me, Hale, and Dal, and a lot of our other friends, because we went together. There was like
Mhm.
14 of us in one Airbnb. and
Yeah, we
would
were
go
a huge group.
we would go our separate ways when we're at the Ren Fair. It was so fun. And then a lot of us took there's like 3 tiers of the ticket. There's like the noble ticket where there's like inclusions, freebies and stuff. Then the adventurers ticket where it's just a day pass basically, and a villager ticket where you have access to the night activities because there's drinking, there's performances that's are 16 or 18 plus. So those were
Mhm.
so fun and very tasteful. And it was just like a lot of things to do there. There were merchants, there were artist alleys, there were people selling sword props or weapon props. There were people selling outfits actually
There
or
was a
accessories.
trade.
Yeah, there were people trading trinkets. I wish I got to prepare for that because it was I feel left out. I had nothing to trade. But people were trading trinkets, so
Oh,
they would have
trading.
like trading
Yeah, it's like a
trinkets. So
barter system.
Wow.
so people were trading flowers or rocks or keychains that they made or tiny crocheted craft stuff, play stuff. It was so fun. It was fun to see everyone. It doesn't feel like your typical cons where people just dress up and you know,
Do people speak normally, or do they speak in like old English? Or I
a
don't know.
lot of people
I'm trying to-
did. Some people were in character, and that's what made
Yeah.
it fun. It was so immersive. Like I love it so much. At the moment
can
we
you
had to
speak in
leave
Old
at the end of the day, it was like I missed Red Fair already. I don't want to leave, but it's over.
Damn it! I want to go.
We told you, Clint. You should have
Hopefully.
went.
Go,
It would have
go.
been
I'll
fun.
be a thief. I'll be a thief.
Yeah,
I'll be a thief.
there were LARPing wherein there's like you can have a wanted poster and you could be like there were are bounty hunters and you could be a criminal they would catch or like you know do all that stuff. There's like the
Sounds like
LARPing
something I want to get.
yeah, there's like LARPing where they're from different camps and there's like rivalry and they fought each other or like there were mercenaries and there would be backstabbing happening. Like it's a whole like thing and it was just so
I
fun.
would
I didn't
talk
even get to
the-
experience everything.
People were into it. Like they were actually really into it.
Yeah, we
Ah.
would pass by the LARPing area because there's a specific place for the LARPers, and you could just hear them like go and like talking at each other, casting spells or like using their weapons. It was like a whole
Like D&D in real life.
yeah, and there were people playing D&D too. There were like specific table
Oh, yeah.
top or TTRPG
RPG.
tables. Like there was Gubat Banwa, D&D, other specific games. There were people painting minis on the spot. There were dice being sold. I thankfully didn't buy dice because the dice I wanted were gone. So my money was safe. from the dice, but I still spent on like other things. Like I was able to buy like a leather strap thing like you could use to, you know, hang stuff from, and
Yeah.
accessories. Like it was so fun. There's archery.
What was your
What else?
favorite thing that you purchased, Ian?
Oh God, what was it? I don't. That's a hard question. I guess the night photo
Meet and
book I
greet?
got. Yeah,
Oh,
from the meet and
wow.
greet, because I availed, because one of the international guests was Knight, the cosplayer, and I really love their stuff. They
Night like Night Maya. Night
Yeah.
yes,
Maya.
Knight Maya was there.
Oh, okay.
They made a vlog. I'm gonna watch that later. But yeah, I got to meet and greet with them. They were so nice and very pleasant to talk with. We talk about Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3. And then they signed the cosplay photo book they had. And I had the last one actually, so I was very lucky that I got to buy that, because there was like a
Wow.
long line before me, and there was still a bit of a line after me. And thankfully, I got the last art book. Like, it was a Howl's Moving Castle cosplay book. So I think that's my favorite. I also love I bought this basket of flowers that has a compartment that if you open it, it's actually can keep stuff within the basket. But on the top, it just looks like a bunch of flowers. It was by Solibo, one of the guests as well, who is known for like cosplay costumes, like they would sew costumes. So yeah, that's like one of my favorite purchases, I guess. Yeah, from Rent
Yeah.
Fair.
The whole thing was just absolutely. I think the thing I hated lang was having to come from the beautiful Baguio air to this 40-degree heat wave.
Yeah, it's I miss Baguio temperatures. It was so pleasant.
Yeah. And the strawberries.
The strawberry. Oh yeah, we bought strawberries. They were so sweet and yummy.
Yeah, we
And-
even tried like a strawberry wine, right?
Yeah. We had on day 3 we were pretty much tired for going to the Rent Fair for 3 days straight. So we didn't stay for the night
Yeah.
activities.
You kind of had to hike there too,
Yeah.
a little bit.
The only downside to Ren Fair was it's a hike. I mean, it's part of the experience. I actually enjoyed it, but if you were like PWD or had a hard time walking, it's really hard to get there. So yeah, what was your favorite part of Ren Fair?
Huh. I really want to say the burlesque show.
I agree with you. It was an experience. I enjoyed it so much.
It's just the entertainers or the burlesque girls, they were just so well put together. They had like a story, and the charisma was unmatched.
The Riz was off the
Riz.
roof. For those people tuning in, Burlesque PH performed at the Red Fair. They're basically a group of performers who, it's the art of teasing, the art of stripping, basically. And it's very tasteful because they would have a theme to their performance. Like the first one, she was teaching us how tea was served before, or what the parts of the Regency outfit is. So she would like slowly take off parts of her outfit and tells you, this is the glove, this is the jacket part or the dress part.
Yeah, it was like an after-hour show, but it was
Yeah.
very tastefully done.
Like it was so fun, and everyone was dressed up. The fun part for me is also seeing people dress up as their characters, as their OCs. I dressed
Yeah.
up as my OC on day 1. It was so fun. Let me drop it here. if you
Very clutch, but very worth
Oh
it.
my god! I should tell
You
the
want to tell
story.
this? Yeah, the story of
my
your wig.
Oh, my wig was I commissioned someone to make my wig, but they're in Manila, so I tapped them like a week before Ren Fair because I'm starting to sense that it might not make it to me in Cebu if I had it delivered. So I just asked them, is it possible if I get the wig while I'm in Manila during the small time window of me getting in Manila in the morning and our bus to Baguio in the afternoon? And yeah, they said that they can do it. So I waited and was in contact with them. And when we were at the bus station, our ride was at would leave at 1:15, and they said they could deliver it to me around 12-ish. And so yeah, I waited for it, and it was so clutch. The wig arrived at 1 p.m. And when I rode on the bus, we immediately left. They were basically saying, "Oh, you're the last person we were waiting for." And it's like, "Oh my god, can you imagine if that wig didn't arrive on time? Like, would the
Oh.
bus leave me or something?" But yeah, it was so.
A minute to
Me just-
spare.
Yeah, I had like a.
How much is the entrance for Ren Fair?
The cheapest was, I forgot if it was 250 or 350. That's for the adventures ticket for one day.
Then for the 3 days.
For the 3 days, so we got the villagers ticket, which had night activities. I remember paying 1-2 for all 3 days, so that was basically 400 per day. I can't remember how much the noble tickets were, but they were more expensive because it had a lot of merchandise included with it. Like there were custom Ren Fair dice. There was a walking stick, which was actually super useful.
Yeah.
Because
The
you
privilege
would
of
need it.
walking.
Yeah. They had a free shirt and other goodies that I can't remember. They had a pouch bag. It was like a lot. It was a good set of merchandise. I just personally wasn't into getting all of those. And I was on a budget, and I knew I was gonna buy from people at the event, so I didn't go for that.
Yeah. It was worth it though for the price. Very, very affordable, budget
was.
friendly for everything that.
That's super worth it.
Yeah, because it's imagine like some of the cons these days, their tickets would reach, I don't know, 800 or something, and it's just a normal con. Ren Fair was so much fun, so much better than the usual cons. It was like fun. I love it.
Yeah, I actually fell asleep in the middle of the forest, like, midway through the festivities, and I don't think I'll get that anywhere else. So that was a very nice memory to hold.
Yeah, it was. I can imagine because you were listening to Sinag, right? Like one of the
Yeah.
guest performers.
Yeah, I didn't mean to fall asleep, but it was just so nice there.
Yeah, one of my favorite performers that I knew was gonna perform was Yellowker. They have this they really felt like a storytelling bard, very magical and whimsical. It was so fun. I miss it every day.
Hopefully they'll have another.
I hope so
hopefully.
too. I do feel like if the organizers are up for it, like because we've heard some talks from our friends who would talk to other people that if they have Ren Fair again, it might be somewhere else or it might still be in Baguio. And I'm like, please come to Cebu. We have Balamban and Busay. Like those are
That
good
kinda works
places
though.
to have
Oh,
a
yeah.
Ren Fair. It's cold up there.
Yeah, pretty much the same temperature.
Yeah, it's more or less the same. It was actually me and Dal compared because we went to Busay to a specific Airbnb place. It was the old stone house or something.
Oh, me and my friends have been wanting to go there.
It's really nice. It was actually colder there than Baguio.
Wow.
If you can imagine, like it was colder than day 2, day 3 Baguio Ren Fair.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I think Cebu can be a good venue for Ren Fair if anyone wants to host
You just
it
need
here.
a space, right?
The space and a good set of organizers because the organizers were really proactive and kept tabs of the event well. Wherein on day 2 there were more people than day 1. I think it's because it's a sold out day, and they were able to adjust their process of getting people in. Like we were scared that, oh no, are we gonna line here for like 2 to 3 hours? Like that one other convention in Manila that took forever for people to get in. You should know this too. But yeah, basically they were able to adjust and find a way to like minimize the line. Like it was well organized as much as they could do with their capability, because they did admit that they were understaffed for the crowd that they had. Despite that, they still did well. You have anything else to add, Hale?
I just got into the reminiscing state and zoned out for a minute.
I understand. I also started reminiscing like the feeling of being there. Because
Yeah.
it was just so fun.
What's
There were
the
like so many
one?
interesting things. We don't know yet, but
Nothing
I
yet.
think
Oh no.
The Ren Fair organizers are trying to gauge if people want another one, in which I'm sure people want one because it's been 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks now? And people are still talking about it. Like I still see people post and say, "Oh, I miss Ren Fair."
Aw.
Do you think
Now post
the
that I miss Red Fair, even though I didn't
Miss
go.
Red Fair.
Miss it,
Or that
live
crap.
vicariously through other people. Can't send the pictures for some reason, but yeah.
is it the first time ba na nga na here sa Philippines? Like
Yes,
I don't know,
it's the
it
first.
seems very lived in Mangod compared to other cons. Like usually
It's the
when you're in
first.
a con, it's usually just like booths and then yana. But then you're still in a booth, you're still in an enclosed area. Well, this one feels a bit lived in, especially because of its location, and everyone's like super duper into it. So,
I think
do you
it's
think that's
also
what's why?
depending if you're a goer or at the booth because the people stuck in the tables were also I guess they had their own set of hurdles because everything was on an incline and it's all
Yeah.
outdoors.
Yeah, if you
That's
were a
tough.
boother, it was kind of rough. And I asked some of them, and they were like, I think we should have not boothed because we could have had more fun if we weren't stuck in the booth." I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that."
Right. They wanted to roam.
Yeah, I think they did. Um, yeah. What else? Aside from the booths, there were like special stuff as well. Like there were batok there, which is nice to see. A lot of like local Baguio artisans were there. There were like weavers. There were a lot
Yeah.
of yeah, Hail, your rapier
Workshop. Yeah.
yeah.
I got a whole sword, guys. It was really it was hard, but the instructor was really nice and I made friends, yeah,
Um
wielding it.
I'm kind of jealous. I wish I signed up for that. Yeah, there was like a sewing class, how to make props and all these other
Yeah.
things that just made Ren Fair so lively and
Yeah.
such
Oh,
a fun time.
one thing I really appreciated is that they tried to incorporate our own culture, like the
Yeah.
Philippine stuff, into the fair because usually it's a European thing, but
Mm-hmm.
they encourage more and more people to kind of like look into the native things and get in touch with our culture. I think we need more of those kinds of spaces.
We do, we do. That's what I appreciated about it. I could have dressed up in a pre-colonial Visayan outfit if it wasn't cold. It's just
Maybe
a
we should have like Filipino Ren Fair in Cebu with the weather just as is.
yeah. I think the closest we can have is Gabi sa Kabilin.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to that one.
Yeah, that Danny and friends are going to. So
That's great. I'll see them there then.
yeah, I'll add you in the GC actually. There's a GC for that. I
Okay,
sadly can't go because I'll be in
Aw.
Singapore. Because aside from
Ooh.
patron of the Art of Cebu, I'm gonna attend my very first overseas convention, which is Dojin Market, Dojima, in Singapore. I'll be selling there with other artist friends, and I am nervous because I've never sold, at a con that's not the Philippines. And yeah,
Congrats.
thank you. But I'm so scared. I'm not prepared. I need to figure out how the payment system works and all that jazz. We still need to book a place to stay in. Our plane is already booked. But yeah,
Nice. Aw, safe travels, guys.
thank you. Sadly, I'm gonna miss like events in the Philippines, but it do be like that sometimes.
Right, it's less hot in Singapore anyway. Embrace it.
Yeah, it's just expensive. My wallet is not ready. I hope I can earn back what I will spend there.
Yeah, very.
So yeah,
What about
What else?
patron of the arts?
yeah, Patron of the Arts is coming up this 27 to 28. It's in SM Seaside Cebu in the Sky Hall. Yeah, I'll be selling merch there with friends as well. What merch yet to be seen. I'm still gonna make them. I'm still gonna draw. But if I find the time, if I can make it, I want to make merch of my D&D OCs and the stuff I'm currently into, which is Dungeon Meshi, Apothecary Diaries, Free Run. The current trifecta of anime that's so good right now that I'm enjoying a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I just caught up with the Dungeon Meshi anime. It's so good. So
I
good.
also just watched like last night the latest episode. It's so good. The world building is insane. The characters are so good.
the
I love the
way
art
they
style.
balance the humor with the very dark stuff is
Yeah, it's just whoa. We're
no
gonna reach the
spoilers.
part.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. But I haven't read the manga either. But people are saying that ha 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 ha. ha. Just wait and
Yeah.
see what happens.
That's what got me into it. Like, the taunting of the manga people.
Yeah, like I'm like torn between should I read the manga or should I just wait for the anime to unravel those things for me. But yeah, I love the recent animes where it's just the world building is good, the characters are compelling. It's a fun time watching anime.
I'll definitely visit you during Patron of the Arts.
Thank you. Just hope it's not my same old merch from years ago that I just recycled because I have nothing else to make.
Regardless, I will still visit.
Thank you. I might just print my OC merch at the very least. So yeah.
Do you guys?
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys? Are you guys part of our server? Somehow games now,
Not sure.
like Minecraft,
The
Power
Let's
World,
Play
Valheim.
one.
This one?
Oh yeah,
Lethal
we
Company.
can see them.
I think Kale tried to join the Minecraft one and died. on
I'm
So
still
sorry.
figuring out the mods.
it.
No,
it's-
I plan to play a bit, like
it's a bit
maybe
different.
this week.
Because
from-
I think our team's gonna be playing after this, diba? Or what?
Ooh,
So you
okay.
guys can
Everyone
join.
are
Not
tired.
a-
I think people are tired because before we were thinking that we would be like playing Little Company after.
Hmm.
Saman. Anybody wants to play Little Company?
But yeah, like
or you guys wanna sleep?
wait, we're still streaming,
Old
right?
People.
Right.
I might not
Little
join
streaming.
today, but I definitely will hop in the server at least once this week.
I might
All
just
right.
Is
I might
Hale the
eat.
Lee?
Huh?
Whoa!
Wait, is it a different Lee? Wait, was the yeah?
What?
Like was it Lee or is it still Hale?
No,
Oh,
that's a different one.
I'm sorry. There was one person from Little Company. I thought it was Hale.
Oh no, I don't play Lethal Company. I watch them.
Are we still live? Like,
Yeah,
we're
still
done,
live.
right? We're-
We're live for almost 3 hours. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Hey,
well,
by the
For
way,
taking the
Hale
time
and
to do that.
I
Ayin,
think
thank
we've
you.
run through everything.
Yeah,
Did.
thank you, thank you, thank you, Ayin,
Yeah,
thank you,
thank you
Hale.
for having
Thank
us.
so
It was
much.
fun.
Yeah.
We
It was
talked
fun.
about a
It was
lot
really
of
fun.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming.
we
Yeah,
actually
thank
had
you
a
for
lot
the
of fun.
invite.
So, and it was great insight, and I hope we don't get sued, but
You're fine. You guys are fine.
but like yeah, like yeah, my yeah, but again, thank you for the time. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the reach that you got and the insights as well. So yeah,
Thank you guys.
My
It was a
pleasure.
fun stream.
All right.
woohoo!
Guess we adjourn here.
Wow.
Yes, thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye, guys.
Thank you.